No.
Hello. Good evening, and welcome to Mayday Roleplay. Thank you for joining us at a more nocturnal hour as we have been invited to peruse one of art's finest, Guy Vauquelin and his Atrocity exhibition, a published module from KULT Divinity Lost. But before we begin our festivities this evening, some general housekeeping is in order. We'd like to thank our handler-level patron contributors. Their involvement allows us here at Mayday to continue to produce and tell stories for your viewing pleasure. So thank you, Ankh, Ojipan, Bimble Ward, Cameron S., Eric A., Jonathan M., Ren, WTF, and Alex Johnson. If you too would like to contribute to all that is Mayday, be sure to find us on Patreon. You'll get access to our early releases, art, and our Discord server built around our wonderful community there. If you want to catch up on our completed seasons and shows like Tales from the Loop or Vegas by Night, look to our VODs on YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud for our podcast-friendly recordings. And as always, follow us on all major social media platforms or our website for updates on future content and other news. KULT Divinity Lost is a horror game, and this actual play is intended for mature audiences. Be advised there may be violent themes, adult language, and exploration of darker subjects. Please take care of yourself and be aware. Some things to look out for tonight would be body horror, gore, corpses, the disappearance of people, religious iconography, violence against family members, and death. Safety tools are used at our tables, and X card can be employed at any time. And so, unless there is anything else, are we ready? Okay. Let us begin. What I'm about to tell you may be unpleasant, but for those who are not yet awake, listen carefully. Your world is a lie. You are trapped in an illusion, and you need to wake up. Others have seen it, where the doors lead. Others have heard it and know why the earth writhes and screams. Others who will not hesitate to sacrifice you on the altars of old gods. There is only one way forward. Knowing the truth. Your world is a lie. You are trapped in an illusion, and you need to wake up. 3 weeks ago, Marielle Dubois perched obsessively at the window of her office that outlooks the loading port of the Cecil Throne Art Centre in downtown DC. A final truck unloads its contents, rolling them in and out of sight. And Dubois, like clockwork, turns and tries to exit with haste. In the first step, she stumbles, resting a hand on her desk, and though well manicured, she catches a tinge of discoloration on the skin around the nails. Reaching for an ornate tin on her person and shakingly swallowing its contents, she takes a moment to regain her composure. Dubois eyes the single picture frame that holds a family portrait, with her husband Anthony and a doe-eyed child on her hips. Dubois breathes. The moment has passed. It's quiet, a Tuesday, and the gallery is typically closed for private showings, maintenance, and exhibition changes. The rumbling of cartwheels above Dubois interrupts this lull as she ascends the staircase to the second floor to her gallery. By now, it has been stripped of its usual standing collection. Barren walls frame 9 dark-colored crates of various sizes at its center. She is met by Mary Johnson and Alano Tozette, security and staff at the center, and Mary begins to roll off tasks from her clipboard. The caterers have forwarded their menu options for the event. I have a list of potential invites for the evening. I can't seem to track down the contracts for the musicians we used from the Tully exhibit last year. Any chance you, and as the list drones on, Marielle seems to ignore it all as she moves about the crates until she meets Alano's eyes, who've been watching her. She stretches a smile across her face and at him. That's fine, Mary. Why don't you go do all of that while I begin setting up with Mr. Tossette? And before Mary could retort, Alano ushers her out of the gallery, shutting the door in her face. Mary exhales in frustration over the growing pattern of treatment since the starting the planning of this exhibition, and returns back downstairs to her office. As she descends those stairs, the maintenance man begins to roll out a banner that holds the face of a troubled man and the words written in blood red that reads, Guy Vauquelin's The Atrocity Exhibition.
Incredible. The world will never know.
The world will never know. All right. Before we continue on, let's introduce our cast for this evening, starting with Lev.
Hey, I'm Lev, and today I'm going to be playing Dubois. They use pronouns they, he, she.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I will be playing Dr. Isadora Swan. She, her.
Hi, I'm Caleb James Miller. I'm going to be playing Hugh
Caleb, you might have muted yourself, or is that only me?
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. Am I good? Okay. Hello, I'm Caleb James Miller. I'm going to be playing Hugh Letho. His pronouns are he, him.
My name is Sergio, and I am playing Cecil Throne, and his pronouns are he, him.
I'm Zach. I will be playing M.I.N.T or M.I.N.T, and both of our pronouns are she, they.
And I am Eli. I will be your storyteller this evening, and I go by any and all pronouns. It's 9 p.m., and the rain has carried on for hours, putting a damper on most of the Halloween activities for the weekend. Yet, flocks of umbrellas ebb and flow over the growing coil of rain-slickened vehicles that deposit guests into the foyer of the Cecil Throne Art Centre. On its turn, a black town car rolls into the entrance as the valet opens the door. Lev, describe Cole as he gets out of the car.
Cole is a kind of like medium build kind of a person. I have a very specific vision for their hair, and it's going to be a real specific internet dating kind of. It'll date the internet. On Tumblr for a while, they were fan casting Ben Barnes as Sirius Black for the Marauders. That's the hair that Cole has. Just like shaggy and like kind of cut short.
How embarrassing for them.
Yeah, well, you know, it's 2010. That was hot.
Fair.
They've got like a smattering of freckles across their face and the brightest makeup they could find, like blues and purples and pinks and golds. They've got these like long snake earrings kind of hanging from their ears. And they're wearing what looks like an incredibly sheer bodysuit that you can see what their biggest tattoo, which is raven wings, that kind of curl from their back up and over their shoulders and around their chest over their top surgery scars. They had planned to wear their usual leather jacket with this bodysuit, but someone, likely their mother, hid it. And so he's gone with this kind of white blazer, black, really like loose-legged, like flowy-legged pants, platform combat boots. And the thing that comes out with the platform combat boots is a cane. It's like a silver-headed cane with what looks like maybe like a tiger or a mountain lion on one end of the flat head, kind of facing outward. Sleek black cane the rest of the way. Yeah, that's Cole.
The valet quickly with an umbrella like rushes over to kind of keep the water off of you, and eventually just kind of abruptly kind of shuffles you towards the dry part of the inside of the building because they have so many. No, they're not trying to like totally like push you, but they are urgently trying to get you to the end.
Thank
But
you.
by the time you get there, yeah, you're in the foyer, or you're in the general foyer just moments before opening into the center. There's a receptionist outside who's looking at invitations. And as the couple in front of you, an older couple, walks by in, she asks for your invitation. Good evening.
Hi. My mother is running this gallery. I'm supposed to be here.
Cole, right?
Yes.
Goes and like flips through a notepad as if, and like kind of reads something as if there was already something there. Of course. Actually, before you go in, Mr. Dubois, have you actually seen your mom?
She left the house several hours ago with strict rules on when I was to arrive, so I'm here when she wanted me. That's all I know. Where is she?
We're not sure. We were hoping she was going to be riding in with you, as that was a mentionable possibility. But you have come alone, so I will make sure Miss Jensen knows that.
My father, is he here yet?
No, neither of your parents have arrived yet.
Thank you.
Of course.
Give them a call. See if I can't help.
That would be great. Thank you.
What was your name again? Sorry.
I'm Stacy.
Stacy. Right.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, Stacy. You. And she kind of like, points towards the door to kind of allow you entrance into the Cecil Throne Art Centre.
Cole will kind of walk in. They're like taking kind of joy in the echoing clack that their cane makes on the hardwood floor. And they'll pull their phone out and probably try to call their dad first.
Okay, you call your father. Yes. It rings and rings and rings some more. So eventually you get your father's voicemail, which is very abruptly brief. Hi, this is Anthony Dubois. Please leave a message after the beep. And it just beep.
Hi, Dad. Mom told me to be here at a specific time, and she's not here, and you're not here, and I know you're not boning in a gallery, so where the hell are you? And then hangs up. And begrudgingly tries their mom next.
Yeah, you immediately just in a huff go from one speed dial number to the next speed dial number on your phone. And again, same thing. It rings all the way to voicemail. And you get a more eloquently flowery voicemail from your mother. And then the beep.
Hi, Mom. Did you send me here to run your gallery opening, or were you gonna do that? Stacy is looking for you. She looks like she's about to lose her fucking mind. So just let me know if you're planning to show up. Great. Love you. Bye. And then shocks themselves by saying "love you." That never happens. What is that? Ugh. Okay, I guess they'll start kind of going through and just kind of keeping a sharp eye out for any kind of familiar silhouette that might be their parents, might be Cecil Throne, might be anyone who has any kind of authority here.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, as you kind of like finally hang up the phone and huff and kind of turn around, you kind of get the kind of look of what the Cecil Throne Art Center is. It's a 2-story gallery that has a basement, but you are on its main floor. It's a very ornate looking, old rotunda-ish looking building. It's definitely got a lot of like dark banisters and low lighting to kind of set the macabre of the event for tonight. You also see the banner up in the background where like kind of like the there's a general cafe that's been kind of transformed into like a buffet station. So there's like serving of catery and small little appetizers and stuff. But right behind that, you'll see the banner of Vauquelin, the Atrocity exhibition. There's a violinist and a piano player kind of in the corner playing just general music, and just a plethora of socialites from all over the DC area. People you've probably met before, but it's just like a wash.
I don't remember a single name of anyone that I've seen these gallery openings. I feel like they intentionally didn't try to remember them.
I mean, as you're kind of walking through the gallery, or walking through that main floor and kind of unintentionally mingling amongst people, you do spot a couple of people. One is Brahim Nassar. He's a Tunisian paint dealer, someone you've met off and on, that your mother has dealt with before. He's a beautiful ebony man, about 6 feet tall, very well-trimmed beard and stuff like that. A very emerald green suit that he's wearing with a nice black inlay and a nice little gold pocket square. He's a very lavish kind of man you have found over his years, never afraid to wear very colorful and beautiful suits. You also do spot, as you're kind of walking through, 2 people from back in the day, from college. One is Samantha Church, who you know is a local journalist in the area, and the other one next to them is M.I.N.T, Zakiya. Introduce your character as you are sitting in the middle of all this mingling on the main floor, with Samantha Church, who seems to be kind of constantly looking around, expecting somebody.
So Mint is peacocking, because that was the time that people would do this thing. They have mint green. Everything they have on is mint green. They have this like poofy, like shoulder off top, with like an oversized, like dramatic flannel, like oversized buttons, like chunky jewelry. They have probably 6 skirts stacked on top of each other that also are pockets for things later. They have these, they might be marching boots, they might be cowboy boots. They have like pom-poms on them. So they're here. And they have a champagne flute in their hand. Is this the kind of gallery that would have champagne at it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There's champagne, drinks, yeah.
Okay.
Anything you want.
Okay. I feel like they would still bring their own, like bring your own flute sort of philosophy. And yeah, they are chatting about anything that, like, if someone notices like paintings that might not even be revealed yet, if they see a sculptor that like they've seen their work before, then they're chatting about that. I don't think Samantha's listening, but Mint is absolutely speaking about everything.
Samantha does that cursory kind of like keeps looking back at you to try to like engage with you, but you can tell that her attention constantly keeps looking at the crowd, and especially where the entrance of the event is.
Sam, are you good? I just mentioned the juxtaposition of a specific place to look at art and the freedom that art is supposed to provide, and you didn't say anything. You didn't even look affected.
Yeah, the juxtaposition of stuff. God, you would expect more people to show up because of the rain, just like faster, just like get in, get out. There's just, just waiting.
I'm sorry, are you waiting for someone specific?
Yes, kind of Marielle,
Oh. Yeah.
She's I figured she would be here by now. She's usually early to these things, but there's just something that I've been meaning to ask her. So, yeah. Just, like I said, this is like part of business, right? Like a lot of this is mainly business. So I'm trying to get my business done first.
Right. At the gallery.
Yeah, at the gallery.
Okay. Not to be theatrical, they say, and their jewelry like is audible as they say that. Not to be theatrical, but it is, like you said, it is raining. This is the perfect time for a grand entrance. I would have made a grand entrance, but I technically don't have an invitation, so I had to get here early. But it's implied. She's probably going to make an appearance. Relax.
Okay. All right. I will relax a little bit as she sits back a little bit and drinks. So tell me about the she goes like, tell me about the Dutch position. So she kind of rolls her eyes.
The very fact that I had to sneak into this place and just goes off from there.
Yeah.
I think Cole wanders up somewhere in the middle of this conversation and just stands behind Samantha with like like 2 champagne glasses in their hands. You haven't changed, M.I.N.T.
Cool. Wonderful that you're here. Is that for me? Is this?
No, and they down.
You haven't changed either.
I try not to.
Surprised to see you here.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see you here too, Dubois.
Hi,
Samantha turns
Sammy.
over.
How's it
It's
going?
good to see you. It's fine. Doing
Here
well.
you're doing some big journalism. That's exciting.
I mean, I have a column. It's going good,
Congrats.
I heard you're back in town.
Just for now.
For now, California was
Not what I
good.
expected.
Rarely is.
Not in a bad way.
Not in a bad
Might
way.
go back.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? We'd miss you out here in the East Coast.
I'm sure you haven't.
Are they paying you to be here?
Oh God, no. My mom just, I'm back under her roof, so I have to follow her little ways. You know how it is.
Trouble in Paradise?
Sorry?
Trouble in Paradise? Something worth quoting for the newspaper?
No, not to you. I mean, if you want to meet up again later, though, I wouldn't say no.
Are you asking? And are you even going to show up if I do?
I mean, I showed up pretty well last time, didn't I?
Half there, half not. You said your mom was missing?
Oh, I thought you'd seen her. I assumed someone had.
Well, aren't you their child? Wouldn't you know?
Unfortunately. And no. She left ages ago. She left the house, told me when to be there, had a car pick me up, hid my leather jacket. You know how it goes. I haven't seen her in a couple hours. I'm surprised she's not here, although, maybe she got cold feet and got tired of hiding art away where people can't experience it. Right, M.I.N.T?
I'm sorry, I've never seen the Dubois get cold feet about anything.
It was meant to be a joke. I didn't really deliver it correctly. I'm still getting used to that.
Speaking about paintings and having them delivered, how does your mom manage to put together such an eclectic piece of art? No one's been able to get Vauquelin's work together in one room. Care to share her secret?
Tenacity. It runs in the family, so.
Can I quote you on that?
I don't see anything wrong with that. Never pisses her off, all the better. Go for it. That one thing.
It's meant that the event hasn't even started yet.
Just asking. Sorry, it's just I can be a little tenacious as well. Speaking of which, I actually see somebody I want to talk to. Maybe I'll leave you two to it. And she'll get up and she'll head into the crowd towards where you would see Brahim kind of be lurking about, Cole.
Can I just like touch Cole's arm for a minute and be like, what is going on? You and Sam.
Like once, years ago.
Are you sure? Time, first off, time is relative. What is a year but a moment that we understand?
Oh my god.
Second, how... This seems a little messy, huh? She's kind of out to get you. Well, not specifically.
Absolutely.
She's out to get your fam. I've said it. She's out to get your family. This is messy.
Yeah, that's exciting. Something will happen at this fucking event rather than people creaming their jeans over art that other people should actually be seeing.
The Freudian slips are sliding, honey. Okay, have fun. Be safe.
Yeah,
Stay dry.
Too. You never. You don't have an invitation, I heard.
I don't. I have
God, I love
revolutionary
that about you.
plans. Stay tuned.
Always. If you need anything, you know I'll help you.
Actually,
I live for messy shit.
especially since your parents aren't showing up. I don't want to spoil anything, but there will be obvious indications of my participation this evening if you just want to smooth things over with the staff if anyone starts asking.
Yeah, I can distract with the best of them. Who knows, Samantha may be useful.
Oh, I'm sure that you have that in hands.
I've missed you.
I've missed you too. Please help me make sure I don't get kicked out.
I can do that.
Good.
Cecil's a family friend.
Yes. You look great. The leather jacket. I love the leather jacket. But a second jacket.
Second jacket.
Mhm.
I mean, she didn't see this of it, so she'll shit her pants.
The tattoo?
Oh no, not the tattoos. The fact that I'm almost full tits out. If I had tits still, you know.
See, I don't even process tits anymore.
You just see so many that they don't even surprise you?
It might as well be like a hand or an ear.
Cole like grabs the front of their sheer jumpsuit and just like pulls it down only for Mint. Nothing?
See, and I just feel closer to you.
I love
Thank
that.
you. Thank you for
God.
being vulnerable with me.
I mean,
Isadora. Isadora. You're on the second floor of the gallery. You're about to walk in to the Hewitt Gallery, which is supposed to be showing photographic collections of skull arts, including some from the Dias de los Muertos in Mexico and the Parisian catacombs. But even though there's much art ahead of you, you seem to be more preoccupied with the people walking around. Describe yourself and what you might be looking for in the faces of those who are patroning upstairs.
So Isadora is a 5'7", tall, slanky, very primmed, put together female with a very high pulled back tight ponytail, with a deep navy blue vest and like a very loose sleeve white shirt and very like a cream pantsuit with very tall, like 5-inch heel boots that look like they are designed to both stomp people but also like work that runway. So they are those boots. And she's sipping champagne, just observing everyone, but very analytical in a way, almost like she is kind of seeing what your portions are, almost like mathematically, and just scaling people and very kind of being judgmental about little flaws. Like, no.
Do you stay outside of the gallery or outside on that little
She's going to
gallery
keep
area?
slipping around until someone at least will catch her eye. It would be ideally someone, if male, usually above 6 foot, almost like if you're looking for, let's say, a perfect specimen. She's looking for what she would like an ideal man, very tall, almost very broad shoulder. And then for female, she's also looking for good proportions and unique characteristics. So
I feel like I want you to roll for this.
I was gonna say I can be the first roll if you like.
Sure, 1 second.
Oh God, why'd I do that?
It's fine. I just need to make sure I'm giving you the right thing.
Oh, no.
Actually, I don't need you to roll. As you're kind of just constantly, as you're kind of just waiting, looking around, you're kind of like eyeing the entrance of this gallery because it's easier to just mark people as they're coming and going. A few moments pass and you see a couple. One is they're very young, about maybe mid-20s. The woman is wearing a very nice, like, soft silver kind of dress. She's got long hair that's put up in a very nice updo, very petite, with very doe-eye-like eyes. And then she's on the arm of a tall gentleman with dark hair, and they kind of just eventually stroll into the Hewitt Gallery.
Oh, excellent. Do they make eye contact with me? Do any of them make eye contact with me? Or do they both?
Sure, I think the woman probably made eye contact with you. She kind of just looked just at a glance, and just because you were in the vicinity, you guys both looked at each other. But she kind of just casually brushes it off and keeps walking back in.
I'm going to clock them. From afar, I'm going to just kind of keep my eyes and really actually measure them, like almost like start to do like their height, figure out their weight, their BMI, what type. I'm like, okay, what kind of skin do I notice? Any imperfections? All of that. I'm not paying attention to much anyone around. I'm actually focused really much on them.
I mean, at a cursory glance, you get a general vibe that they kind of fit a little bit. But if you want to know more, you have to get closer.
Oh, I'm going in, guys. I just wanted to make sure I'm going straight in.
Okay, yeah. So you're gonna start walking into the Hewitt Gallery.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very dim lighted room. With nice little silhouetted, just like pieces up against the wall of just various anatomy, like pictures of skulls, catacombs of just walls made out of bones and stuff like that. Just instruments of death and violence, very up close, very personal, very up in your face.
I'm gonna get really I will get distracted for definitely a couple seconds on the bones specifically.
Yeah.
Can I almost reach out to touch it, but
yeah.
But I'm gonna because it's almost tempting to touch.
You reach out to this painting, right? Like you see it's a bunch of bones scattered on top, and there's just kind of this skull, and you move towards it. You kind of put this hand, there's just this alluring feeling towards it, and as you just get closer, you just kind of, it's almost like a a sensation as you're like moments from touching away, just like you feel this energy that you could just reach out and grab those bones and take them for yourself, like they're standing right there. And you can just kind of, as you're getting engrossed into it, you just kind of feel this sensational pull. Do you keep going towards it? Do you
I'm
how do you feel about it?
When that sensational pull happens, it's going to shock me out, and I'm going to go ahead and use that to take a sip and down the rest of my champagne because I don't want to lose control right away. So I'm gonna go and head towards that couple, like head towards that duo.
Okay. Feeling that like exhilaration and deciding to reject it, you kind of go back to the task that you had at hand. In the other gallery, though, in the hold on, I have its name, gallery. 1 second. In the Rosenfield gallery. In the Rosenfield gallery, it's filled with a mixture of things. It's mixed with iconography of funeral practices from a plethora of cultures over the Middle Ages and stuff like that. Furs and pelts, you know, dress wear and a bunch of other stuff. And standing in the back is an older gentleman. Caleb, can you introduce Hugh as he's kind of looking at some funeral regalia in the back corner of the Rosenfield gallery?
I absolutely can. This is exactly where he would be. I was just thinking it too, so it's perfect. Hugh is older. He's probably in his late 50s, approaching early 60s. He is dressed in a 3-piece suit with an additional sweater over that, some sort of loose fabric over that, and then finally an overcoat. Probably looks way too hot for the inside of this gallery with as many people as there are circulating around. But he has brought all of those layers high to his collar. He's trying to make himself unassuming. He's standing in the corner of the exhibit itself, but is very interested in many of the funeral practices. He's there admiring the art. He walks with a cane, just a very simple steel cane with black leathered handle towards the top of the silvered ball at the highest point. He looks a little like John Slattery, the actor from Mad Men. Silver fox, tight little mustache, neat, perfect white hair that's been slicked back and parted off to the side. He does not look like a very easy person to walk up to. He looks like a grumpy old shit already, and even in his stance, he brings that about. And he has this very concentrated look on himself as he's taking in these art pieces. And the other most notable piece, and maybe the only sort of piece of skin that you can make out besides his face, is on his neck there's a brand that is showing about half a cross that must end in a full cross that runs underneath his collar. It is very notably not a tattoo. It is somewhere that he was almost like cattle branded. Of course, anyone who really looks at him long enough might recognize him from the back sleeve of the book Deviant, because of course he is a relatively famous author who stepped away from the scene. But he's taking in these art pieces. And he probably even has a little pad of paper where he is writing down notes on each of the things he's seeing.
As you're kind of scribbling away, you hear like the gentle murmurs of an elderly couple who's kind of also perusing these artifacts and stuff like that. They're hand in hand. definitely in like their 60s or 70s, but they're kind of just gently by. You kind of notice them. They walk by you. The man gives you a nod if you guys make eye contact. But they just kind of carry on as you continue to go.
I definitely give him like the white person crossing the street and I got in front of your car smile, like, please, this is just courtesy, continue moving, do not talk to me.
Yes, and they definitely pick up on that that vibe and continue on their way as you kind of go back to like scribbling in your book about something. And a couple seconds later, you kind of get this feeling that something is looking at you, watching you from behind you.
I think that this is familiar for Hugh, but it's never enough that he can make alms with it. So he's definitely going to unabashedly, never one for like intrigue, is going to turn around directly and try and make eye contact with whatever is staring at him.
You do a complete 180, and as you're kind of like spinning, you feel like you thought there was something in your peripherals, like a body, a mass of object, but when you fully turn around, there's nobody there. You notice, you clock in the distance the couple who's still kind of now looking at some other pieces that are in the stuff, but there was no one directly like behind you.
I think that there's this level of frustration in his chest, this big deep sigh, and he probably stares down that couple a while, just wondering if maybe for some reason it's their fault. But as soon as he's there, he's staring, probably not very socially couth here, but he's staring middle distance into where he thought he felt that, and he'll stay like that until he starts to feel comfortable again. Just sort of old man peering off into the distance until it feels right.
Yeah. You stare off into that distance and you mull that over for a minute, but then when you finally go back to what you were going to do, you turn around and there is a man standing next to you, standing right there at the same place that you were looking at. He's an older gentleman, white in feature. He's got gray silver hair that's kind of slicked back. He's wearing like a dusty trench coat, suit and tie. Looks very serious kind of man. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
Don't I know you from something? From somewhere?
No, you don't know me.
You got one of those faces, though.
If you do know me, I don't want to talk about it.
I feel like you do something like aren't you like an author or something?
I might be an author.
Might be an author. What's the name? You're Hugh, right? Hugh Letho, right?
Yeah, that's my name. Is there an ending to this conversation anytime soon, or are we going to do introductions for the next 20 minutes and then I'm going to have to sign some piece of shit paperback you brought with you?
Oh, shit. I'm not a fan, man. Though my wife would maybe want a book. Yeah, I mean, do you carry copies on you?
No, of course I don't carry a fucking copy on me. What kind of an asshole would I be?
I don't know. Have you met authors? They're kind of assholes.
Yeah, we are. But we like to be left the fuck alone. Did I come here to ask you about your job cleaning up fucking toilets or whatever it is you do?
I don't quite clean up toilets, Mr. Letho. My name's William Reeve. I'm a detective on the private end of things. It's good to meet you.
How the fuck did you get a ticket here?
I have my ways, Mr. Letho. I have my ways.
It's good to meet you. I'm sorry if I came off rough. Detective's a hard thing to be. I understand.
It's hard being a writer too, Mr. Letho. Don't worry,
it's
especially a famous
not.
one.
It is the easiest shit in the world to spout out whatever it is stuck in your head and think it matters enough that somebody might read it.
Makes me want to write a book then. Convincing me really hard.
Well, you know what? When you get into the business, I'll trade you agents and then you can be just as famous as I am and maybe you'll like it better.
might take you up on that offer.
Well, by all means, you're already in the right place for it. God knows Thorn will probably give you a deal before the day's over.
Why is that? What has Mr. Thorne got to do with anything?
He likes to get his hands in things. Many pots, He's just sticky. He gets shit stuck to him. That's all it is.
And you're stuck to him?
Maybe. I'm stuck to plenty of people. That's what being famous is. It's an unfortunate connection to everyone without actually wanting to know them.
Including the ones that propositioned you for your last book, right?
Sure. Yes. Deviant was a chore. It was something I thought would change the world, and instead it changed some bank accounts.
You mentioned Cecil's got his hands in a lot of things. What kind of things? Like art? Like art trade?
I think you're standing in it, friend. He'll take anything that suits him. He's got an eye about things. A real good eye about things, and that's what's cursed him. Sometimes you can see too much in people. Most of us are shit.
So you would contribute all of the prepping and planning of this little soiree tonight to be all of Cecil's doing, not Dubois?
I know that I'm supposed to hear and suck Cecil's dick and suck Dubois' dick and suck everybody's dick, but I don't intend to do either. So if you're asking me whose camp I'm in camp I'm not sucking your dick.
I'm not asking. It's for you to suck my dick, Mr. Letho. I'm just asking.
Good.
Who moves the mountains in this establishment?
If you know anything about the art world, you'll always know it's who's got the deepest pockets. We are a glorified money laundering superstore, baby. It's just whoever wants to move it that day. And sure, Cecil's usually that person, but I don't know. This whole ordeal is different. It's not every day I get out of bed, and it's not every day I leave the door that's across from that bed, but something like this is a reason for that. And that should tell you everything. And if it doesn't, I'm not going to tell you anything more. What's a detective doing here anyways? Why am I telling you this shit? What's going on here?
Mr. Letho, you're just a mile of words. I'm just here because a friend of a friend was looking for some help, and I'm just asking questions, mingling, you know?
Who's your friend?
Mr. Letho, that's a little outside of your pay grade, unfortunately.
So, if I'm to get this straight, the detective, whose job it is to ask questions of everyone, whether they'd like it or not, is upset that I asked a question you're not ready to answer. And it just seems a little hypocritical.
No, you had no...
It's okay.
You didn't...
It's okay. You're gonna be a little bitch
answer.
about it. You're not gonna tell me. That's fine.
That's fine. However you want to proceed with Mr. Letho. We were just having civilized conversation. You didn't have to answer things. You're not under trial, not under arrest, not under investigation. I'm just enjoying the art.
So am I. So far, this has been a good conversation. Did I upset you or something?
Never, Mr. Letho, never. You've actually given me more information than I could ever hope for and expect.
Good. Well, whatever it is you're interested in, whatever brings you here, just the best thing you can do is rope people in on it. More people that know, shockingly, the more things get done. That's all I'm saying.
As you guys are having this conversation, you're interrupted with the gentle, coughing of a older man as somebody taps on the detective Reeves's shoulder since he's kind of in front of you, and it's the old man that was who was kind of a little bit ahead of you with his wife. And he seemed a little worried got a little worried expression on it. You guys have been talking for several minutes now. And he's like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, gentlemen, but have you seen my wife anywhere? I just looked around for a moment ahead of her, and I turned around and she disappeared. Did you see her go that way?
No, didn't see your wife.
Reeves also shakes his head no, says that they didn't see her. He kind of like looks and shifts around and nervously then thanks you both and kind of heads in the way that they came in, where you first had seen them cross you, and out that door, trying to see if he can track down where his wife had gone.
Big exhibit, a lot of things to look at. I'm sure she just went wandering. Some of these things are actually beautiful, despite all the bullshit that took it to get here.
Hugh, roll me and observe the situation.
Okay. Let me look at my handy dandy player resource sheet to find out how I do that.
It's a roll plus perception.
Yes. Okay, cool. I see it right here.
Let's go.
Okay, I have a 17 base, and my perception is a +1, so an 18.
An 18. All right.
Which means
That's, you can ask me 2 questions.
Two
from that
questions.
list.
Okay.
Well.
Beautiful. So I get 2 questions off this list to get information on what I just saw. I'd like to know what is being hidden from me from this situation.
Okay.
That's my first question.
Oh, also, we had something before we get into that. We had something we needed to roll at
Yes.
the top of this. For
so
you.
I have this handy dandy in KULT. There are these great advantages, disadvantages, and then dark secrets that sort of define what I am. I have a disadvantage called Cursed, meaning that you can affect some moves against me if I fail a roll at the top of the session. So if you'd like, I can roll that now and see what goes on.
Yes.
Okay. So this goes for the whole session. If I fail this roll, you can make these holds against me at any point.
Sure.
And I fucking tank that terribly. I have a 3, which means the GM takes 3 hold. The GM can spend hold to make a move for the curse. For example, you or someone you care about have an accident, something of yours is taken from you, etc., etc. Bad things happen to me because of what's happening to Hugh. So you officially have, anytime. I have 3 moves that you can use against me.
Okay.
And if I refuse what you are making happen to me, you can attribute dire consequences of my curse directly against me. So I can say no, but you make it worse for me, not worse for the situation.
Okay.
So that goes to that. You have 3 of those that you can use at any given moment, which is fucking not great, but hey, that's a cool system. And then the question was, what is being hidden from me?
What's being hidden from you is that it's not necessarily in this room, but you feel it kind of permeating out, like its touch reaches this part of the building. But if you were to continue to follow it and go out towards the door of the gallery, you would notice that radiating bad feeling that you've had since you've gotten in here is coming from Dubois' gallery, which seems to be roped off and closed currently. If you were to peek outside the door, that's what's kind of hidden from you, is that you feel a source of something.
Got it.
That gives you the heebies.
I think as that question rises in me, Hugh's right arm begins to twitch almost violently. And in the same way that someone might get tremors off of medication, his arm begins to shake, his wrist especially. And he holds it to himself, almost unconsciously, leaning a little harder on that cane so that he doesn't alert the detective, but begins to drift over towards that red taped off area of Dubois' exhibit. And my second question is, what should I be on the lookout for?
should you be on the lookout for?
Detectives.
When you walk detective. Outside of you clock Reeves for a second, who's clocking your sudden driftingness. But if you were to follow the feeling out of the Hewitt gallery and over towards Dubois, the door of Dubois gallery that is closed, I think. Well, the question again was, I'm sorry.
What should I be on the lookout for? So the first was what is hidden from me, and the other is what should I be on the lookout for?
As you start to saunter over there and you eventually get to the front of Dubois' gallery, you're immediately stopped by two people. Well, it looks like security guards. And they give you this just very sullen, monotone sentence says, "The gallery is closed until midnight tonight." But as you kind of like look at them, you kind of clock, there's something off about it. Something strange about the way that they're just blankly staring at you. They're almost glazed-eyed over, but even that, when you kind of just keep clocking them, you get this really musty, like, scent to them, like very deeply earthy. And again, it's just more of that bad vibes, but something about them in particular. They look human. They look somewhat present, but something about that just bothers you.
Do I get the sense that they're like disassociating from the experience? Like they're not really present?
Yeah, but it's hard for you to tell whether or not it's just because they're at a boring gallery and they're just security or that, but just the slight discoloration on their skin tone and stuff like that, and their general slouchiness and that overly musty smell that you just can't quite remember what that actually smell is, but it just smells rank. Seems to put you off to them a little bit.
Okay. So there's an ability I have with my advantage called authority, which is like close to Hugh being an academic authority in his field.
Sure.
And when we started our game session, I got 3 options, right?
Yes.
And it gives me the ability to gain access to people or places under the pretense of engaging in your research or studies. Is there any way I can apply that move here and look to the 2 unconscious guards and say, no, I totally get it. By the way, whatever patchouli you 2 fuckers are wearing smells fantastic, but I'm actually here because of the Dubois, and I was invited to take a look at their exhibit because I'm working on my 2nd book. I don't know if you know me, but I'm Mr. Letho. I'm a special guest of Cecil and the Dubois, and they said I was assured access. I don't know if I'm going to enter now, but I just want to know that you 2 are going to be okay when later inspiration strikes and I need to get the old pen out.
The Dubois gallery is closed until midnight tonight. All attendees have to have the invitation with the skull to be able to preview the gallery.
Yeah, well, I hope you 2 liked working here, because when Cecil hears about this shit, it's over for you 2. You're gonna go back to working at a fucking Wendy's, okay? Bullshit. And I'll cane myself away.
Outside, another town car starts to roll in as the valet quickly opens it and puts an umbrella over the people who are exiting. It's pushing 10 o'clock now, 10-ish, a little after 10. Sergio, introduce Cecil and your date that has joined you this evening, as you guys are fashionably late for this event.
The door opens, and before you see Cecil, you hear his laugh. It's just obnoxiously this laugh that comes from a man who has no problems, and steps out a 5'5" individual, rather short, with a completely shaved head, shaved face, very clean, almost kind of glowing as if he's just come from a facial or something. He looks vaguely Anglo-European of descent, but he's not classically handsome. He's not actually that attractive of a man, but he really uses his money to look as attractive as possible. He's dressed in a very nice, like, blue suit and a collared shirt that has a beautiful pattern on it, open by several buttons, probably maybe one more than they should be, no tie. And he extends his hand and pulls out a beautiful, tall, blonde woman that's maybe in her, maybe at best mid-20s, and just has a beautiful row, top and bottom, of white teeth, and just kind of shines them at the crowd, at anyone who's kind of still outside, and makes his way inside with his beautiful girlfriend Adeline on his arm.
Amazing. Yeah, you and Adeline are carried in under umbrellas until you guys reach the foyer, where you meet Stacy, who like immediately straightens up the moment she sees you, and she greets you with a very big smile on your face. Mr. Thorne, good evening, Miss Adeline.
Everything going accordingly, Stacy?
As well as we hope for. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
That doesn't seem very confident. This all needs to go perfectly, you understand?
Yes, and as far as I'm aware, it is going perfectly, though Miss Dubois has yet to show her face.
Well, that's unusual.
It is, but it's fine. Miss Jensen has been making rounds and making sure that everything is remaining in top shape.
Marielle's been doing everything to make sure this is all perfect. I'm sure she's just finishing, doing the finishing touches or whatever. Have you seen Hugh Letho? Has he made it into the party yet?
Yes, Mr. Letho has been here for quite some time. I believe he's just mingling.
Excellent. Does it seem like everyone's here? Are we still missing a lot of people?
We're getting the last bit of trickles in. I feel that some people might not show up because of the rain. But overall, we have a healthy amount of attendees. And their guests, yeah.
Stacy, I'm here. Hugh Letho's here. There's a bunch of other people that I made sure were here. Everyone's going to show up, believe me.
Yes, yes. Oh, and Cole Dubois is actually here as well. They arrived on time at 9.
Cole. Well, I'll make sure to say hello to them. All right, Stacy, we're going to go in and mingle.
Right. She gestures for you to enter into the doorways as you enter into the main room of the gallery. And yeah, there's tons of people here. Various people. There is a photo booth area off to the side for those. And as you kind of start entering and mingling, you're immediately approached by Samantha Church. Mr. Thorne.
This is the journalist, right?
The journalist, yes. You remember Samantha's last article about the art center, which involved a performance artist who fell off the top balcony.
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Thorne,
Samantha.
good evening.
Yeah, it's lovely to see you. How are you?
Oh, doing well.
Everything up to your standard around here? You enjoying the party?
It seems tip-top.
Well, that's good. We spared no expense.
Yeah, it seems like expenses were not spent. Care to quote for the journal?
This will be a night to remember. You can quote me on that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, how does one successfully pull one of the hardest collections together, I wonder?
Excellent question, and a question I think that is probably best for Marielle, who is around here somewhere, I'm sure. My ability is to bring the people with the talent together to get the job done. That's what I'm good at. That's what I've been doing for nearly 20 years here at the Cecil Throne Art Centre.
So you're not involved in the acquiring of assets for your gallery?
Oh, I mean, I acquire assets here and there, but no, I'm much more hands off. I let the folks who have the passion for the art do the real searching and rescuing, as I like to say.
Good. That's good to know. Because, I mean, Marielle, I mean, wow. Whew, putting all of this together takes a lot, you know?
It's
Just-
going to be her finest work yet. I'm so excited for her to premiere it.
No, I'm excited for it too.
Have you seen Muriel?
Marielle, no. Actually, she has been the conversation of talk. I think if she doesn't arrive anytime soon, we're going to start pulling a pool of when she's actually going to arrive. Or if she will at all.
No, she's here somewhere. Don't you worry. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Well, I'll quote you on that too, then.
Darling, I have so many people to speak to, but it was lovely to see you, and I will
Yes.
see you again soon.
Yeah. And she allows you to walk off. You've given her enough time. Is there somewhere specific you're trying to go to now that you are in here? Adelaide's kind of gone off to grab a drink and mingle herself. She's chatting up some rich older man.
Oh, she's already left my arm. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did you have her on your arm? I mean, if you wanted her on your arm, then yes.
In the end, Cecil would have just been complaining about Samantha to her, so I'm sure it makes sense that at some point she would have kissed me on the cheek and went her way. But I think at this point I am just trying to make my way in, and I probably do want to find Hugh. But if I find Cole first, that might change things. Just kind of depends who I see first. Maybe I'll see someone else, like Mint or the doctor.
Let's see. What can we roll to see who you might find first? Mint and Cole, have you guys moved away from mingling down at the bottom over this last half hour or so?
Cole's probably started wandering a little bit more. Avoiding as many people that their mother would want them to talk to as possible. They probably talked to Nasir for a little bit, but yeah, I think they're just kind of wandering up and down, and I think they're starting to make their way toward the gallery doors to see if their mother's inside or something like that.
So you want to head upstairs?
Yeah, I think they're on the verge. I think as Cecil's coming in, they're on the verge of going upstairs.
Okay. Mint, are you following them? Just so everybody knows, there's like 3 floors of this. There's the basement that has a theater that's playing a documentary. And then the 2, Isadora and Hugh, have already been upstairs at the 2 other galleries that are open currently.
Yeah, I think Mint is probably combing through the galleries. I think they stop at the Van Assen gallery. That's probably the one they're spending the most time in, but it's either between that or the Rosenfield, because I think the Middle Ages and death in general are going to get their attention.
Okay, so you two have, so Cole and Mint have moved their way upstairs.
Yeah.
So yeah, the only person then you would probably have caught then, Cecil, is Hugh, who I assume is coming downstairs from the gallery after his exchange with William Reeve.
Yeah.
And the bad inklings he got.
So that's
you
who I
see him
see
huffing
first.
down this. You see him huffing down the stairs.
I
scruntily.
take the opportunity when I see him running down the stairs to kind of get close to the stairs, but then immediately turn and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, the award-winning, millions of books sold Hugh Letho is here, ladies and gentlemen."
Don't. I told you not to do that shit, Cecil.
And I'll extend my hand to help him down like he's a feeble.
I mean, there is a shade of red that has come over Hugh that can be in no way construed as embarrassment. It is just blind rage as he is giving this half-hearted little wave of his hand, and like it's halfway towards like swatting away birds that he's like, just fucking stop, please.
Hugh, my man, you have to accept the fact that people love you. That's why I brought you here tonight.
Cecil, when you asked me to be here, we did not have any conversation of this being in a public setting. You said that we'd talk, that we'd... This wasn't part of the deal, and I think you know that.
Enjoying my multi-million-dollar art center is not part of the deal? You're not having a nice time?
Listen,
How's the champagne?
the champagne is good, you know that.
It's imported, Italian.
Oh, I'm sure you know exactly where it came from and not just how much it costs.
I mostly know how much it costs, and they tell me that it's from Italy.
Of course. So it could be from bumfuck nowhere, but God, it costs thousands of dollars, so we have to drink it, right?
As long as the people think it's expensive, that's all that matters.
Right.
Hugh, so, how do you feel? Are you excited?
No. But is that a surprise? I don't think so. It feels
probably not.
weird to be out of the house. My skin's crawling, but...
And let me say, I am honored that you have come out for me. It really means a lot.
For you is assuming a lot. That's doing a lot of heavy lifting in your language. But I'll let you have it, Cecil.
I mean, I've already told you, I'm willing to do anything for you now that you've done this for me. I mean, look, that next book of yours, I want to help you get that distributed.
Sure. If it ever gets finished, I swear you'll have a hand in that pot.
You have any details you could tell me about it? What's it about? Maybe the subject?
About the book?
Yes.
It's bad luck to talk about something before it's done. It's like asking the artist in the sketch stage.
That's the difference between you and I, Hugh. I don't believe in luck. It's about being ready and about being prepared.
Right. I'm sure that every artist would agree with you.
Well, look, Hugh, I want you to enjoy yourself. I won't make a spectacle again. But at the end of the night, I want you and I to go to my office. We'll share a little drink. There's just some paperwork I need you to sign to make this whole thing of your appearance official. And, we'll discuss maybe next steps. Certainly you want to produce another book, right?
Yeah, and you promise we'll get to talking, just you and I one-on-one.
I've got some ideas about how to make that happen.
Okay. Sure. We can talk about the book, and I'll sign whatever you put in front of me.
Excellent. In the meantime, enjoy yourself. Please, drink, eat. There's a lot of beautiful women here if you like to flirt.
No. God fucking no. Are you kidding me? Walking around with some 20-year-old on my arm? It's not for me. I've grown past that age. Anyone I could have loved is probably already dead.
Oh, God, you're so grim, Hugh. Jesus Christ.
Well, we're in the fucking death art exhibit, aren't we? Did you read the label on the tin, Cecil?
You can't let something like death get you down. You know what I mean? We got a lot of life left to live in us, Hugh.
I think we're all hurtling towards it. We might as well be open with the tiger on the table.
You see my girl over there that I walked in with, Adeline?
Yeah.
23, about to be 24.
That's very tight, Cecil. I don't know what you want me to say here.
You have no idea. Well, I never date them past 24, but, so if you see another cute one, you point them out to me, okay?
Sure, we'll get you a little waiting list going. Can I ask you something? What, do you think they just die off on the vine at 24, or do they become too smart to fall for your bullshit?
Insider secret. Gentleman never tells, right?
Nah. As soon as you show me the gentleman, I'll agree.
Look, when you have as much money as me, relationships get boring. You know what I mean? You got to keep things fresh. You got to keep things moving in this industry, you know?
On that we agree. It all gets boring, Cecil. That's why things like this are so important. I know that you probably don't see it yet, but you actually had a hand in a moment here that might actually change lives, whether it was just in your building with your Italian champagne or not. You did something here.
It's hard to think how many times I influence people in their lives these days.
Oh, I regret fucking saying it in the first place. God damn it, I'm trying to teach you something, not jerk you off.
I'm already bored with Hugh. I'm going to take a look around. Can I see if I see Mint? I am not looking for her, but if I notice them, that would mean something.
Yeah, Give me a second. Mint,
Yes,
you're up in the galleries,
I am.
away from the general audience of everybody, kind of in the more quiet of the festivities. Everybody who wants to mingle is more down in the main floor. The rest is just quiet strolls through the remaining 3 galleries that are open. What are you doing up there? Are you still with Cole, or are you just now finding a place for yourself? It's getting late. It's getting closer to midnight. So if you're trying to get something accomplished tonight like you had planned, probably a good time to start doing that.
I think seeing that the events of the evening are about to pick up, she's going to start getting like a little bit of solo gallery time in. If there's a section of the like death focused gallery that has more like sculptural pieces, she's going to just be admiring it for a few minutes, doing the walk around and thinking deep thoughts no one else is thinking. And then she'll reach into her pocket and pull out a small porcelain doll. And
Nice.
do another walk around, but not as someone like looking at a gallery piece, but as someone building a piece, adding to it, and just says, "Do good work," and hides it in the sculpture. She does this probably 4 more times throughout the gallery. She hides it in sculptures. She hides it in things that are just elements of the gallery, like plants to fill walls. She hides it under the table with the fancy cheese and wine. She puts it at the little like kiosk desk where people are checking in. There are probably like 10 to 15 dolls in the gallery by the time she's done.
In just one of the galleries, or are you spreading these 15 dolls across all of the galleries upstairs?
All of them. As much as I'm allowed to.
Are they stagnated pieces, or are these movable pieces?
They are.
Or do they get to start to travel and wander?
The more crowded it becomes, the more they start to like toy soldier meander about the gallery.
And just to double check, you are only doing it in these upstairs galleries on the 2nd floor. You did not drop anything on your way up in terms of the main floor, or in terms of maybe something that heads down towards the basement.
I want like 2 on the main floor where people are arriving. But I think seeing that the like Vauquelin is his name?
Vauquelin.
Vauquelin. That his section of the gallery is sort of like walled off. She'll put things next to it, but she's not going to try to like sneak one in yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would notice one of those little dolls, like on that first floor.
Every single time you put down one of these dolls, you hear this cricking that comes from it, just moving unnaturally of limbs, and it's just the sound they make when they kind of do their thing or start doing their process. But you have successfully planted as many as you would like throughout this gallery for your purposes. Cecil, as you are finishing or growing tired and weary of Hugh and his melodrama, you are approached by someone that you are familiar with, Mary Jansen, who is one of the curators here. And she's a very tall, slender woman with very curly hair. She's dressed in a very professional grade dress. And she's holding what she's famously known for, her clipboard. And she's about to start telling you the rundown of what's going on, especially the fact that Marielle is missing, when like at your foot, you just see this like mechanical porcelain doll smack up against its boot and then fall over. And then it seems to try to slowly crick itself back up into place and upright.
Yeah, my smile completely drops, and I look at it. I just go, "Mint," and then I will. I'll say, "Mary, you look lovely, but I need to go," and I'll kind of blow past her.
She's like, "Wait, Mr. Dubois.
Talk with me while I'm
Mr.
walking. Talk and walk.
Yes, Mint is here. Miss Church brought her.
And why did
Samantha,
no one take her out if she's in?
because she was a guest that was she was a part of the guest of the invitation that was sent personally by Dubois. So I felt
Mary,
it
I
would
need
be
you to think more creatively. You could have invited her in for a special thing into my office, and then security's there, and they throw her ass out.
Yes, but I figured with the press attached that we didn't want the drama of throwing her guest out,
Fair,
especially
fair,
once the
fair.
last article.
You're a beautiful mind, Mary. You're right. You're right.
Always
That's smart.
on our toes. Yes.
You're always looking out for us. I appreciate that.
I figured it was a minor inconvenience, and as long as she doesn't do anything outlandish, we can contain
See,
it.
that's the thing. That if she doesn't do anything outlandish, I know this crazy little thing. Okay, where is she? Do you know where she is?
Last time I caught them, they were talking with Sam and Dubois, but I have been making rounds. As you can see, Marielle is nowhere to be found, and I am running her exhibition right now. Among the other things that I would love to talk to you about right now, about the things that are going on.
Okay, listen,
Cecil.
Mary, don't worry about it. Why don't you take a break? Why don't you have some wine or some champagne? It's from Italy, by the way. I am going to go upstairs. But everything's fine, and I'm talking like very publicly out with her, and then as soon as like I'm about to leave, I just pull her in and I go, "You look so fucking sexy," and I'll just let her go and I'll start heading up the stairs.
She like rolls her eyes and like straightens herself up and just goes back to like doing the things she needs to do because she has other things that that are going around. Where are you heading?
I'm going upstairs and I'm going to see if I can find Mint.
Okay, yeah. You go upstairs, and as you continue to walk, you do eventually catch another one of those little porcelain dolls walking around
I'm going to snatch
just
it.
aimlessly. Ooh. Mint, when the one gets snatched, you are very much aware that that one has been snatched.
Ooh, interesting.
I think they go to see what the hell happened. I think at first they were like sort of into the dolls and like getting more and more hyped up with everyone they place, and then when they feel that disturbance, they are quickly and irritatedly walking towards the source.
I think I'll see her approaching and just kind of hold myself open just as I have with everyone else. Mint! I'm so glad you could make it. How's that limp of yours? Are you still in a cast?
No, I'm good.
My God, you look wonderful. Almost as if the accident didn't even happen to you.
Yes, well, I have been spending more time in the sun and a little bit more conscious of where my blood is in my body, and that's been great.
That's good. That's good. That's a kind of technique I think I've studied with some masters with as well.
Yes, it's wonderful what the right processes can do. You have something of mine?
This? And I'll hold up the little thing.
Yes.
Is this yours?
It's.
So you've returned to my gallery after injuring yourself to continue to make a fool of yourself.
Only a fool would call my art foolery. It's much deeper than that, Cecil. I don't expect you to understand, but I do need this to occur uninterrupted, if you could please.
Mint, what you don't understand is if you keep coming to a place where you hurt yourself, you could hurt yourself again. And I try to snap the little arm off of the doll. Am I able to?
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, it's porcelain.
Yeah.
It snaps, but Mint, when something about that just doesn't sit right with you. It's one, you even feel it's almost like you can kind of feel that residual snap.
Cecil, I understand that we have a complicated relationship and that most of my work is a little more Guerrilla Girls at the peak than you would like, but please open your mind. Just a little bit. I'm doing good work here. Okay?
You are doing excellent work, Mint. You're doing excellent work for me. Because when we go to trial for your silly little lawsuit against me, I'm going to mention that there are 100+ people here who saw you return to where you hurt yourself to once again make a fool. Ever heard of insurance fraud, Mint?
I don't have time for this right now.
Mint, I don't want to ruin your evening here, and I'll hand back the little porcelain doll to her. Enjoy yourself. I want to make sure that everyone here gets a good look at you.
You know what, Cecil? Keep this with you, just as a show of good faith.
What an honor! The amazing Mint and her doll. Beautiful. I love it.
Yes.
Maybe one day it'll be in an exhibit like Guy Vauquelin's.
Let's hope so.
Well, we can certainly wish, right?
Enjoy your night, Cecil.
Cole, I see you. Beautiful Cole, how are you? And I'll walk over to Cole.
Cole had heard Cecil's announcement of Hugh, and had been kind of frozen in stasis of, do I go upstairs or do I go downstairs to talk to Hugh? I don't know what to do. And I think they've been watching Cecil talk to Mint, trying to like stay in the shadows, to try and like intervene if Cecil tries to throw Mint out. But as soon as he turns on them, they try to turn like they're going down the stairs.
You get bigger and bigger every time I see you, Cole.
Well, I'm not a child anymore, Cecil.
Last time I saw you, you were a little more... Looks nice.
No!
I think for the first time, Cole is struck dumb by this mentioning their top surgery in such a ridiculous way.
It's pride.
It was like vaguely positive too.
The worst ally I've ever heard.
Oh my God. Cole, like,
He's one of those
stands
corporate
there
allies.
stunned.
He has to
And
think
just,
he
like-
nailed that.
Yeah. Does it... I'll lean in quietly. Does it itch? I'm sorry, am
feel
I
like
being
I
offensive? I am just trying to be open and accepting of you.
I appreciate that, I
Oh, thank you,
guess.
Cole. Cole, I've known you your entire life. I mean, you're like family to me. I just want to know
Yes.
what's best. I just want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, you've always been like my creepy uncle.
Listen, sweetie, have you seen your mother?
No, have you? She told
no,
me
but
to be
everybody,
here.
everybody keeps saying that they're gone, and I mean, I just know they're here somewhere. But did she answer her phone? Have you tried calling her?
Of course, I've tried calling her. Neither she or my father answered. I was on my way to the gallery to see if they've just shut themselves up in there. I know
That
they're
was
not
gonna be
doing
my
anything
next move.
gross, so.
Oh, well, what? Oh my God! Why would you even think that? I mean, Jesus.
I mean, honestly, if anyone else at this party had disappeared and wasn't answering their phone, I would make an assumption. If you weren't answering your phone, I would make an assumption.
That'd be the right assumption, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've walked in too many times. But
Well,
my
I mean,
parents.
let's go together. Let's see if they're in the gallery. I'm sure they are.
I think I'm gonna like look at Mint and then look to try and like catch Hugh in the downstairs. But I feel like Cecil's like taken my arm and is just kind of leading the way. So I think Cole kind of lets it go for now, and just kind of gives Mint the high sign of like, go on, do your thing.
Did you bring anyone with you? +1?
No, did you?
Always, of course. You've met Adeline, right? She's been around for at least a year or two.
I've been in California for a while. I don't keep track of your many.
Oh, that's right, California. How's that
Relationship.
treating you? Yeah.
It was a little bit different than I expected, but you know, I'm only home for a few months, and then I'll be going back.
Oh, that's splendid. Well, we'll all have to have dinner together sometime.
Wonderful.
You all are heading to Dubois' gallery? Is that where you're heading?
I think we're going to try to sneak in to see if we can find Marielle in there.
Yeah.
Marielle, okay. Yeah, you both are, as you guys are having this discussion, eventually walk up to the security guards that are there, and they give you the same repetitive response. The Dubois gallery is closed until midnight tonight. Those with the skull on their invitations are allowed in.
I'm their daughter. I'm supposed to be in there.
Do you know who I am? My name is on the building.
If there were any two people you could piss off at this party, we should not be the two.
They pause for a moment. And then again, with a little bit more volume and a little bit more push, the Dubois gallery is closed till midnight tonight. Attendees must have a skull on their invitation in order entrance at midnight.
I'd fire you if I didn't appreciate how sticking to your guns you are. Did Marielle put you up to this?
You would know that it might not have been Marielle, but Alano Tosset, who is head of security here at the gallery. Another person you have yet to see out of everybody here.
Can you tell Alano to get these assholes out of our way?
Yeah. Do they have like a walkie-talkie or something on them?
Yeah, actually, if you look down on their hip, they have a walkie-talkie. It doesn't seem like it's just buzzing off there. It doesn't even seem like it's at the right channel.
I'll snap it off of his belt, and I'll try to turn it to the security channel. And Alano, do you hear me? This is Cecil. Over and out.
As you ring in, Isadora, we've left you for a while. You have been stalking a couple in the Rosenfeld gallery. I'm sorry, the Hewitt gallery. They've been admiring the photographs of Parisian catacombs and skull art. Eventually, the woman whispers something in the man's ear really quickly and walks off out of the gallery. Maybe she's going to the bathroom or something. She's just left him. So they have separated. Who do you want? Who do you keep your eyes on? The woman that walked off, or the man who's still kind of just half-heartedly looking at the photos?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I head towards the bathroom.
Okay.
Or head towards...
where she went.
Yes.
Off. Yeah, you beeline. I mean, the guy is just kind of like hands in pockets, just looking at this art and stuff like that. But you head out of the gallery. Mm-hmm. You catch her going down the hallway, and what looks like she's going to the restroom. What are you doing?
I'm gonna take one of the rings on my finger and drop it and go ahead and bend down and pick it up, and I'll be like, "Excuse me, miss," and I'm gonna go ahead and go after.
Sure, yeah. I mean, when you go in, she's at the sink. It seems like she's washing and freshening herself up. When she turns and looks at you, I'm sorry, excuse me?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to take my wig. Wow, you have amazing symmetry. Did anyone has ever told you that before? Oh, I'm sorry. You dropped this. That's the reason why I stopped you. And I'm going to hand the ring out.
You're trying to influence somebody. Roll me an influence others check.
Okay.
See how well she is receptive to your con.
Okay, hold on. What is it? I have a 13.
You have 13. Okay. So a 13 is a success with a complication. So you will get what you want, which is her receptiveness to your riz. But there's a complication that I will add to it. So she takes your flattery, and then as you're holding out the ring, she kind of takes it from your hand and she kind of like inspects it, and she just kindly gives it back to you. She's like, no, I don't own a ring like that. It's beautiful though.
Oh, well, then I got better find lost than found, because I'm sorry, I just happened to see it on the floor as you were walking by. I just assumed it was you.
Well, that's really sweet of you. That's really kind. I hope you find whoever stole that.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so sorry. I have to ask, are you you're on that TV show, right? You're on the sitcom, on the one that's on Netflix, correct?
Yeah, I am. So yeah, I'm trying to be low key about it. You know, just
Sorry.
got invited to this thing, but yeah, I was on that show. Yeah.
Gosh, I have to say, your comeback of how you've from your post recovery of everything, I have to say, just flawless. You look amazing. I just wanted to say that you're actually inspiration a bit on that.
Oh,
and then I'm gonna be kind of just almost especially around her eyes, especially just kind of examine, be like, unique gifts. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take the ring and be like, better go find the owner, and walk out.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let's double check this complication
You need
here.
to leave time for the storyteller to process this.
Yeah.
That's true.
You've frazzled the story.
Yeah, you do all of that, and she's just kind of alarmed a little bit by how close you've gotten to her.
That's her.
But she accepts the compliments, and she seems receptive overall before you immediately just walk out, and she's just kind of eyeing you and the strangeness of it. But you've definitely left an impression on her. And she's got even maybe a small smile to the interaction of how, regardless of how strange it was. Where are you heading now that you have dined and dashed from the bathroom?
Okay, good. I because Isadora was more trying to leave an intrigue, especially for her. She's gonna go ahead and slightly put the ring. Slide it into her pocket. Doesn't want to get caught with it. So she'll go ahead, slide it into her pocket, grab the champagne flute, and pass by the gentleman and accidentally see if I can bump some champagne onto him.
Okay, roll me another influence.
Specifically his pants and crotch.
roll another influence other, since you are now influencing another person, a fairly different person. So that's roll plus charisma.
Ah, darn. I got a 4.
You got a 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you absolutely spill champagne on him, but it's not in the cute way, it's not in the way that you wanted it, where it was flirtatious and silly and oh, I just bumped into you. It was like you essentially dumped champagne on this dude's crotch, openly. You essentially went like this because he just turned slightly as you were about to bump into him, and he just watched you dump it onto his pants, and he's just like, what the fuck?
Sir, we know that between the two of us, that was unacceptable and very inappropriate to be doing that in public. So I'm going to ask you to calmly go and get yourself in order. And I'm going to storm off and walk off and leave him awkward.
He's he's angry as shit. He doesn't follow you and pursue you, but he's making a loud, like, upset noise in there. And as you, like, awkwardly shuffle out, the woman that you saw shuffles in and heads towards the loud noise that she recognizes as her partner.
Wait, is the insinuation that he was jerking it in an art gallery?
No, it was more like he just wet himself.
Oh,
but
he
I wanted
pissed
to
himself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's much more civilized. Thank you.
I honestly was like, are we trying to insinuate that this man has his dick
He
out?
just creamed his
was more
jeans.
like just trying to embarrass him so bad that he just wants to go to like dash out. Because if you got stuff down your pants, you
What
don't
an
want
incredible influence other role that we have.
Yeah.
This is
I am trying to
I hope this
influence
is what
him
they
to
wanted.
believe he pissed himself.
This is a doctor.
Yeah.
And you make a dash for it. A scene has been caused in the Hewitt Center. Cecil and Cole, you guys are trying to radio Alano, and the moment you radio in Cecil, the immediate thing you get response is it's the voice of Alano, but it's very aggressive and to the point. I said everybody stay off this line, and immediate bleep.
Alano, this
talk
is
to you like that?
Cecil. Hello. Could you have someone escort me into the gallery, please? Now?
Nothing. But as the silence reaches over it, and you're about to, hit the tipping point.
I'm about to use my forked tongue advantage.
But before you get into that, you hear commotion going on downstairs, as people seem to be excited, buzzing, and stuff like that. And you even start to see flashes of cameras. And as you guys head towards like the balcony and stuff like that, even you, M.I.N.T, Isadora, if you want to get lost into this crowd as people seem to start gathering about, you all see Marielle Dubois, who has finally entered into the gallery with husband Anthony in arm, and she is smiling as if she was supposed to be here at this very moment. And everybody is quite excited. She's mingling and talking and schmoozing all the way and stuff like that, grabbing a drink, being just her normal self, as everybody seems to be gathering around to get a bit of Marielle, as they were expecting to get more time with her as it starts to grow closer and closer to midnight.
Arriving precisely when she means to.
I turn to Cecil and I'm like, well, there's our answer.
Good. Everything's running accordingly. It's going to be wonderful. We're going to make a lot of money. This is going to be great.
Is there any chance I can sneak a doll onto Miriam?
I will help you with that. If I know that's what you want, I will help you with that. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Cole, you can definitely help in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know that this is happening, but if M.I.N.T has any indication that is her plan, I want to help.
I think M.I.N.T goes up to you and she's like rolling her shoulder. And she's like, I need you to do me a favor. It's for the performance tonight. I need you to give this to your mom. And hold out a doll. And it's like, I think it's been like hastily fixed and snatched from another sculpture, but it's here.
Fucking horrific. Absolutely. Does she need to know it's there, or can I just plant it on her?
Better if she doesn't. Better if she does not. Great.
I take the doll and take my cane and start pushing my way through the crowd in a very self-important way up to my mother until I can get to my mother.
Yeah, she's schmoozing, she's just the life of the party over it. People are just kind of hurdled. It's taking you a couple seconds for people to like move out of the way so that you can get through, but you finally do. And then as soon as you do, she immediately clocks you And she just throws her arms out. She's like, Cole, and then goes in and like kisses both of your cheeks, and like,
Hi, Mom.
there's that thing where she like caresses underneath your chin and to get a good look at you. I was hoping you were going to wear the other jacket that I laid out for you, but you look nice.
Well, you took my first option, so I figured my second option would have to do. And as we're like doing the like close kiss, I'm gonna get a little closer than I usually do and try and just like deposit the doll in her handbag or in her pocket or something.
I want you to act under pressure.
Okay.
Because you are trying to plant something stealthily on your mother.
18.
Yeah, it's easy. She's carrying, currently she hasn't like taken off her coat yet and her purse, so she's definitely has put it in. You were able to put it in the clutch of her bag because it's small enough to fit in there. Mint gave you one of the smallest versions of their little dolls, so plopped it in the bag as you give them a hug.
Where have you been? Why the fuck was I supposed to be here 2 hours before you?
Well, I've been getting ready for this event. As you can see, there's a lot going on. And I wanted to make sure you got here on time because I was surprised that you were even going to show up at 9 o'clock. But I'm proud that you did. You did it.
I didn't have an option when you sent someone to collect me.
Well,
I was at the house. Where the hell were you?
I was out getting the final preparations and stuff, putting everything together. It's fine.
I don't think Cecil is very far behind, and he's like, Marielle, you made it fashionably late and looking stunning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful. I'll give her, kisses on the cheeks as well.
Yeah, she like shows it off to you, and she's like, yeah. She does that, and then just smoozing it up, but it's good. Yeah.
As
a little late running behind, but it's fine.
As I'm walking with her, like I'll take my arm under hers, and maybe I even do the same with Cole, so the three of us are kind of walking in unison. I'll say to Marielle, "How are you feeling? You good? You have the strength tonight? Are you doing well?"
I am feeling stronger than I have in years, Cecil. I don't think you should worry about me at all. I have all the vigor in the world. It's a great night. Yes.
Like I told Cole, you're like family to me. I just want to make sure you're okay. Anything you need tonight, you let me know. I'm here for you, okay? This is a big night.
I think your presence is exactly what I need here tonight, Cecil. You always bring just the right amount of energy and just the right amount of attitude.
And the right amount of money, right?
And the right amount of money. Your donations always keep my interests worldwide.
Well, as long as we make a lot of money and we bring a lot of attention to the center, I think this is going to be a beautiful exhibit.
Oh, it's just the start. Midnight soon.
You have some very adamant guards up there that would not let us in to find you.
Oh, Alano is keeping this very tight. We don't want to start things too early. Why waste the fun? The experience is in the unknown, And I just want to make sure that nobody gets it until it's just the right time.
Cole, I didn't know that your mother was so cryptic.
You haven't spent enough time with her then. Excuse me. And Cole is immediately trying to get away from these two people that she doesn't want to spend any time with.
You'd think travel abroad would make one more open-minded, and I guess not.
Oh, he, whatever they are, they're just kind of breaking out of their shell, you know what I mean?
Damn. Damn. Incredible.
You really have to be patient with her.
I've been as patient as I can, but I think after tonight, Cole will finally really get the real perspective of what I'm trying to accomplish. This is going to be my finest gathering of exhibition, Cecil. It's going to be great.
You believe it? I believe it. The paintings, are they really that good?
Once you splay your eyes on them, Cecil, once you really see the power that they have inside of them, you'll get it. Like
Say-
art transcends beyond our understanding, Cecil. There's more out there. And she's like getting closer to you, like very manic. The more she kind of like more explains it, you know, Guy Queen accomplished more than we could have ever done in our lifetime. He found the answer to things, you know.
This is the first time I've seen her kind of like this. Could I roll my sixth sense to kind of get a better idea of what is going on here?
Sure.
See how I do. Ooh, a 9 and a 6 plus soul, so that's 17 total.
17 total. What are so what is that success inlay for?
Choose up to 3 options usable anytime during the session. You have an intuition for things both good and bad. This was actually meant to be at the start of the game session. So
yes.
we'll say I have 3 options. My options are act first in a threatening situation, sense whether someone wishes good or ill towards you, and discover or sense a clue or lead where you're off track. So I'm going to use that second option. I'd like to sense whether all of this manic energy that I'm feeling from her is for good or ill towards me specifically. I guess I could use it almost like, is this going to make me money or not?
I mean, absolutely. You get the money vibes for sure. Like you know just alone what Marielle was able to accomplish. You know, as somebody who's an art collector and in the space, the rumors and stuff around this exhibition, that once Guy Queen had passed, his artwork was scattered across the globe into private collections, into a couple of galleries that you were known for public viewing, but the overall collection has never been put together in one place. So the fact that Marielle had managed to do this in such a short amount of time is almost impressive. Even you yourself can't move something like that. So you've been impressed by it, but at the same time, that impression from you is a little bit off, you know, like no one's that good, you know, and that puts a sour taste in your mouth. That yes, it's going to make you money, yes, but like Marielle did something, and the fact that like, you know, you're recalling Samantha Church's conversation with you and the lateness and stuff like that, and you start to feel that Marielle obsession that you've been entertaining these last few weeks has something bigger underlying that you don't quite fully know about.
I'll keep an eye on her for the rest of the evening, but I'll save those other 2 options for later. And I'll just continue to introduce her to the other people in the party.
Yeah, you guys schmooze around. Okay, Hugh, you've after your conversation with Cecil, after the arrival of Marielle, what are you doing? What are you up to? What are your feelings?
I think that he has been wandering the party since Cecil left him. Just trying to take stock of everything that's happening and engaging with the art, especially because if there's one thing about this whole situation, at least he can appreciate that. But once Marielle appears, there's a sense of him that actually wants to engage with the Dubois, but does not want to be seen doing so. Just because of like he doesn't want the attention that that's going to bring to the public. So he's hoping to either catch Mr. Dubois or Mrs. Dubois in a moment of quiet so that he could introduce himself or at least get a handle on these people. And he doesn't like preferential treatment, but he would like to be in that exhibit in a context that doesn't draw attention to him. So I think he's thinking about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's hard to find Anthony Dubois. He kind of, as soon as his wife started to get into that mode that she is infamous for, he skulks his way to the bar.
Good.
And is just sitting there, whiskey glass in hand, kind of shaking it around and taking a sip. He doesn't seems tired. you know, like I've been to one too many of these. It's always the same thing. And now I'm at a bar
Yeah.
waiting for it to end when you arrive and jump up to him.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Letho. Good to see you. Care for a
Mr.
drink?
Dubois, yes, absolutely. I'll have whatever you're having. It's in the correct glass, so I know it's harder than this champagne bullshit.
Good man. And he turns around and he orders another drink for you, and eventually you get a whiskey neat handed to you. To the Atrocity exhibition?
To the art.
To the art, yeah.
He holds it up. How are you doing, Mr. Dubois? Are you enjoying yourself? You look about as lost as I am in this place.
You know, when you do this kind of stuff almost every once, twice, thrice a year for decades, you know, they just start kind of feeling like the same, you know?
Right. Loses its luster after a while. But there had to be a time that some of this made sense to you, right?
Yeah, maybe 20 years ago. But, you know, what is happiness but a happy wife?
You do it all for her, huh?
Yeah. At least this, the art, the session with it, you know? God, she's been doing this for weeks now. Just barely coming home, always here at the gallery. So I really would love to see what this is all about. I mean, cost me a pretty penny as well.
So this has been a process. She's been looking into acquire these pieces for a long time, I'm guessing?
Oh, she's been obsessed with Vauquelin for far beyond this, but recently has taken up the active interest of putting the collection together. She's always talked about it, but something's compelled her to get it done now.
Right.
I mean, we've even talked about pushing this back another year, but she insisted it had to be today.
Art always has a right time to happen, so I see her in that regard. This intrigued session for herself, what do you think started her down this rabbit hole?
I don't know. I think it was that summer she did abroad, like way back when. I can't even remember. She knew Vauquelin at a certain point, and towards the end of his career, his life, stuff like that. He lived fairly long, surprisingly. I know they keep showing a young man, but, you know, he was fairly in his years, in his prime at the end of it. But
People like to remember you how they liked you best. I get it.
exactly. But after that, she had always had a deeper fascination about it. It always coming up in conversation, but I think she's just processing everything now and just wanting to make one last final hurrah, one last goal, check the bucket list off.
Well, how do you feel about everything that comes together with this system? I mean, really, we're drinking over whiskey. There's got to be some level of truth you can give me. A happy wife, happy life is one story, but sort of died with the last generation. I want to know what you're thinking. And I think I'm going to use the move read a person to really try and see what this guy is up to past the dinner conversation. Because I know no one's going to give me a straight answer in an art exhibit. It just doesn't happen.
Totally. Do you have to roll for anything, or is that just something that activates?
So I'm going to roll plus intuition, and then if I succeed at the highest, I get 2. At the middle, I get 1 question, and at the lowest, I accidentally reveal my intentions, and I have to tell you what my intentions are, and that goes home with Mr. Dubois, and you can make a move based off that.
Sure.
Okay, so I have a 15 plus my intuition is a 16. A 16 total, so I can ask 2 questions. But the way this works in KULT is I ask my first question. The conversation continues based on whatever information I use or learn. And then I can ask my second once that thread's pulled through. But
Perfect.
some of these I can't actually act on. I was looking at, like, for example, there's a question here called, are you lying? If I learn that you're lying, I can't use that just because I just learned the information. It's sort of like I can sense it, but it's not on the subject sort of thing.
Yes.
I think my first question is to start this off is, kind of germane to what we were already doing, is how do you feel right now? I'm trying to get a sense of what he really feels. He's given the happy life, happy wife thing, and he's given the tired, oh my God, it's so much work, but haha, we love her. But I want to know what he actually believes to this exhibit, to everything that's happening with his wife, to everything we've talked about so far.
It's something in the way that he phrases the obsession over Vauquelin that suggests an underlining suspicion of intimacy that Marielle might have had, but also you sense a bit of grief behind it. Not in grief in that aspect of it, but grieving that this is a process that might be coming to an end for him. Or the process of truly understanding why somebody might put together a death exhibition. And he seems to be kind of keeping himself together in that notion by telling you that a happy wife, happy life, and it's all the constant routine that he shares with Marielle.
So I get the sense that maybe Marielle and the artist had a much closer relationship, and that this is sort of the ending of that story for the two of them.
Possibly that, or even step forward that it's just a personal thing for Marielle as well.
Right.
Separate from a relationship with Vauquelin.
So she was almost his muse for a time, or at least regarded him with enough respect and appreciation that thing felt real.
Fascinated by him. As far as I heard in the rumors of Vauquelin, he dabbled in mysticism and stuff like that, and that mysticism is what fueled his art, but mysticism can mean anything.
Right.
It's a sham to get people to find you interesting.
I mean, that was what I based my entire first book on, the idea that people take that subjective dream and make it reality. When people take these things a little too seriously and start convincing themselves they can control life and death. It's a shame. I was hoping he was more based in the reality of death than thwarting it.
Maybe he is. Maybe I just have a bitter spin to it. Art is subjective, right?
It is. It's very subjective when you're the husband. And then I think my last question will be, oh God, I hope there's a really good, sweet answer to this that doesn't mean anything terrible. But I think I'm going to ask, what are you about to do? And that comes in the context of what I can glean off of what they intend. It's not like I get a direct answer, but I get some intuition into what he might be planning next from this conversation.
I think all he's planning is to sit at this bar and drink and just...
So I don't get the sense that he's worried about any next step, a goal. He's in calm, submissive state of mind.
Yeah. He's kind of stuck in that sullenness. He has no intentions to act on what your intuition feels that he's underlying to.
Okay.
It's just a tiredness towards it. I'm done with it, or it's, just let it ride out for a little bit longer kind of situation.
Right. Well, Hugh raises his glass to Mr. Dubois and says, well, you know what? Whatever happens next, just get what you need to out of it. That's all we can do with art, right?
Exactly. He kind of tips his glass towards you to kind of toast to kind of nod and acknowledge a good conversation that he had with you, the very least.
Okay.
Cole, did you want to speak to you see Hugh and your father kind of talking as you slipped off away from your mom once you got the first chance,
Yeah.
not wanting to get caught up with Cecil and her.
Yeah, I think Cole is looking for like the first out they can find, whether it's Samantha or Mint or their father. And I think as soon as they see their father and Hugh sitting together at the bar, it's another like beeline through the crowd to get to them. Going to their father first to make sure they don't look too desperate to talk to Hugh. Just kind of like leaning over and kissing him on the cheek. Hi, Dad. Mr. Letho, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's good. This your kid? And he looks to Dubois like,
Yeah, my child, Cole. Cole.
Cole,
Hi,
good name.
we've exchanged emails a couple times.
We've talked?
A few times, yeah.
Talked to you?
Well, talking is a little bit of a... I sent an email, you responded to that email. I sent another email, you responded to that email. I sent a third email, you didn't respond to that one.
Did I like you?
I truly couldn't tell.
That's typical.
Yeah, I would love to talk to you about Descendant, your latest book. I mean, all of the research you did on KULT, I'm really actually very interested because and then they kind of like break off and look at their dad like they're not sure if this is something they can talk about publicly.
Yeah, Mr. Dubois was just telling me that he's had enough art for the day. Listen, as a favor to your father, and I'm sure as a favor to maybe the good conversation we had, let's take over here. I could tell you a little bit about Deviant and Descendant coming next if you're interested.
Amazing. Sorry, I meant Deviant. I read that you were going to Descendant next, so I got a little overexcited. And this is like the least cool anyone has seen Cole this entire time. They are like rambling and like looking at their dad like, can you believe it? It's Hugh Letho.
Listen, kid, it's fine. A lot of people are excited about that second book. It feels like it's the only thing anybody wants to fucking hear about, but
that's not the only thing I want to hear about. I promise. I want to hear about anything.
Well, here, come over here. You can show me the emails, and I'll read what I said and see if I still believe it.
Fantastic. Thanks. Dad, I'll talk to you later. And they kind of kiss his cheek again and follow Hugh off into a corner.
So you're a Dubois kid, huh?
Unfortunately.
That sounds like fucking hell.
It was. Yeah, it really, growing up, it sucked ass.
Yeah.
But, trying to get away from my mother's everything led me to your books, and I would love to hear your take on cults and specifically developing cults and how they form and what why
you're
they
interested
might
in
follow certain practices.
The inception of cults?
Inception practices, what might lead them to do one thing or another. It's just it's been an area of interest for me for a while.
Well, listen, when I was in East Texas for Deviant, it wasn't necessarily about the start of cults. It was about the end of them. A lot of my history comes into those that are still out there, walking about. But they all start the same way. It's an idea that pervades existence. It's something that takes over the mind. It feels bigger than us. It becomes so big that a whole group of people can't seem to make right with the idea of it. I think it all starts because someone thinks bigger than we intended to. We break the code a little.
That seems defeatist.
Hello, I'm Hugh Letho. Defeated.
Well, have you, I don't know what you're doing for Descendant. I know you were in Texas for Deviant. Have you done any research into anything, I don't know, maybe in like out west? Arizona, New Mexico, California, Oregon.
I don't really like the sun.
Of course, yeah, that's not
Texas was
surprising.
enough for me. Why are you Californian? You got that look about you, kid.
I spent some time in California, but obviously I'm back home for a little bit.
Yeah.
I understand you're not interested in the sun. That's
Listen, can I ask what the fuck you're getting at?
And Cole starts kind of like looking around and seeing if anyone's kind of eavesdropping or just nearby and any kind of interested in the conversation that they're having. Is that something I should roll?
You're just generally looking around to see if anybody's nearby?
Yeah. And also I realized that I have repressed memory. And if conversations, the GM decides the nature of your repressed memory, usually based on your dark secret. In situations associated with your repressed memory, roll +0 to determine if a memory surfaces.
Well, then roll. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're talking
Hell
about
yeah.
your character.
10.
So you start mentioning about you start listing off the names of the different states, and when you finally get to California, you just quickly have this like glimpse of a dark basement and a slab of fucking stone and the smell of iron and blood in the air.
I'm so sorry. What was the question again?
I was asking what the fuck you were trying to get at there, and then, listen, are you all right? Cole, was it?
Yeah, Cole.
You got this look on you.
I'm fine.
Cole, as you're getting your bearings and stuff like that, you kind of like, you're still kind of trying to keep a sense of your surrounding. And as you kind of look over to the side, you pick up the silhouette, the form of somebody you think you recognize. Someone with like dark brown hair, and what looks to have like a notable tattoo on the back of her neck. And you kind of start leaning over to the side as like Hugh is trying to ask if you are okay. Seem like you recognize this person. Someone you know very well.
Can you excuse me for just like 3 minutes? I think I see someone I know, and I can't let them get away. I haven't seen them. Excuse me. And they just start like running as fast as they can with their cane.
Holy
after the
shit.
shadow.
Yeah, you pull a beeline, as you've been doing all night, just beelining left and right. You beeline towards this person whose back is to you. They're wearing like a very nice, simple, like white dress and stuff like that. They seem to be talking to somebody. But yeah, they still seem very familiar. Somebody you recognize. You think it might be Sasha. But yeah, you're beelining.
Like, not even trying to politely interrupt the conversation, I grab around their elbow and whip them around and say, "What the hell are you doing here?"
when you turn that person around, you realize that you do not know who the fuck this person is. It is just like it's an older woman in her mid 30s and stuff like that, and she's like frightened by the fact that you've just belligerently turned her around.
I think Hugh is watching from behind with one hand on his whiskey, just fucking laughing his ass off at whatever crazy bullshit this is.
Can I
help you? Do I know you?
I'm so sorry. You looked like a friend of mine from college. Yeah, oh, that's a necklace.
Did she owe you money?
No.
How old does this woman look?
She's like in her mid 30s, you know.
Not money.
Nicole is like mid 20s at the
Mid
oldest.
20s, like
Old college buddy.
Your necklace. My friend had a tattoo that looked. Please forgive me. Please enjoy the rest of the gallery. Sorry. Nicole like turns back.
Yeah, I mean, she goes back, like she's looking back to the person she was talking to, and in a like, you know, just like, cannot believe what just happened. Mint, you are enjoying your evening. It's been a night. You have dolls afoot. It's pushing closer to getting towards that midnight. We're about 11:30. What you doing? What you up to?
I think this Mint is going to be sort of getting a vibe check for the gallery, but also sort of me asking you, do you think this would be a good time do you think Mint would think this is a good time for her performance? Or does it not seem like the peak of the gallery yet?
I think 30 minutes before the intended time for you to go and view the gallery is just the right time to put anything down, so that you're not upstaging Marielle.
Of course. Mint is going to find her way to of the multiple floors. The entrance to the main gallery, is that on the first floor?
No, all of the galleries are on the second floor. The main floor
Okay.
only houses like a small cafe area and then several hallways that lead to like offices and just like the beautiful open rotunda space that you can look up to the top.
Okay. Cool. Then yeah, Mint starts to gather on the second floor, and you start to see the dolls from various parts like follow her like a like a duck, a bunch of ducklings, and you can hear like as she's walking, she's like, "To me, children," and she gathers in an empty spot, and like swings her skirts around dramatically to sort of clear the space around until there are all of the dolls sort of finally lined up, and sort of waits expectantly for people to quiet down. And when they don't, she starts tapping the champagne glass in her hand until things quiet down.
I will say, Mint, that you are outside of the one that you gave to Cecil and the one that you gave to Marielle. You are missing 2 more dolls that have not come back to your fold. You didn't feel your severing of your connection to them, but they are not here.
Oh shit.
But you're tapping on the glass and people are kind of slowly starting to settle down.
If Cecil sees this, he is going to call over the videographers that are like getting B-roll of the event to make sure they get it. And then he's going to have a front row to whatever this is, and he'll probably spend most of the time uproariously laughing.
Yeah. Things eventually start to get quiet. You know, the music slowly stops playing and the lull starts to go. Even Marielle's kind of, was talking, but has slowly stopped to give you attention. You have the floor as these dolls are in front of you, and you are here with all of those dolls.
I think she takes the champagne flute and sets it down, and right as she's about to speak, she instead just smiles. She smiles specifically at Cecil and at the Dubois, and a slightly more pointed smile at Cole, and then gestures to the dolls like a choir director, cueing them to speak, and sort of repeat what they've heard. I think it sounds like a recorder, like someone's put a bunch of tape recorders in a bunch of dolls and set them loose in an art gallery. But they all start a chorus of whatever they've gathered while around the people that they've been by. And you said 2 dolls are missing, and I think it's the ones that I gave to the Dubois.
No, those are the two. Those are the 2 outside of the ones that you gave to Cecil and Marielle. Those are still in their persons, but the rest of them, unless you've called those ones back.
Oh, I called all my babies back.
Oh, then then those 2 are with you. Then sorry.
Okay,
so unless Cecil, did you let yours go? Okay, yeah. Then you're missing 2 out of the ones outside. Yeah, so you're just missing 2.
Okay, then I think they just start playing in this like polyphonic mess. And once I identify the ones that I gave to Cecil and the ones that I gave to Miss Dubois, I kind of silence the other 2. Like I feel like I'm conducting these dolls, and I silence everything but those 2, and it replays entire conversations that Cecil has had, including like him being frustrated with security, Miss Dubois saying probably the most like shallow things we've ever heard, people insulting the different galleries. I think there's a little bit of Letho like being honest about how he feels about being here. Like there's just things that should not be repeated being conducted and cued in this chorus of dolls. And then she makes them all form a line, and she takes a sledgehammer, but a small hammer out of her pocket, and slowly starts to crush these dolls into like a powder, and then starts to rub the powder over her person and into her pockets and over her clothing to the point where she looks like a ghost. And I think she saves the last 2. She saves the main Throne and Dubois dolls last. They're the only ones that are repeating over and over as she's covered in their dust. And this performance is probably about 10 minutes, but she's completely silent as this happens. You're muted.
There are 2 notable things that pop up amongst the cacophony of all of this stuff, between the patrons saying all of that stuff, the random things that Cecil and Marielle says, is 2 main things. It's a conversation that has happened between Marielle, Samantha Church, and Brahim Nassar that happens off to the side, but now has become more public. Brahim has accused Marielle, and outright, about stealing one of the art pieces from the Atrocity exhibition, the Tears of Jabhar. It is one of the pieces that was in his private collection and was somehow stolen from him and somehow made his way here to the Cecil Art Centre. So both him and Samantha Church are attempting to accuse her of art theft. But it was a hush-hush matter off to the side when Marielle had a moment to step away when they first confronted them. The last thing you see, which is probably the last doll that it gets crushed before you powder yourself with them, is what sounds like a scuffle happening. And you hear Hugh and Cecil would have recognized the voices in that. Hugh, recognized the voice of William Reeves, the detective that you were talking to. Cecil, you recognize the other man's voice as Alano Toset. They seem to be fighting about something. And then as they're having this argument, there seems to be a bit of a scuffle, a crash on the ground, and for a moment you hear Alano break from the loud, serious tone of confronting Reeves to this almost panic. And he just seems to be, from what you can hear in the scuffle, just panically shaking and saying, "It's coming. It's coming. They're here in the gallery." And after he kind of repeats that over and over again, eventually it just stops. And then Alano gets serious again. And he starts to tell Reeve, "Hey, you're not supposed to be down here. Get the fuck out of here." And they start to continue to argue. And then just as that starts to happen, M.I.N.T crushes it and continues that final bit of the ritual of painting themselves with that last bit. But now a hush has slightly fallen on the gallery as everybody is taking in M.I.N.T's performance.
I don't know how long Cecil will put up with, he found it amusing at first, but now he feels like there's things that have been said that he didn't want to be heard. I think he'll probably signal to somebody, and he'll even use his forked tongue advantage to get somebody to basically drag M.I.N.T away.
No.
Yeah, A-Light, before anything I was going to say, Isadora would have started clapping to see if I could get people, because it's quiet for a minute, to just kind of just solo clap to see if anyone else starts.
Cole is absolutely clapping too, having kind of recovered a little bit from their reaction earlier.
I think eventually people start to clap. It's not the full audience, but people are trying to be good sports about it. But you do have a sea of glares.
As Cecil is calling the security and they're all sort of congregating on M.I.N.T's thing, can I look for the Dubois in the crowd, see their reactions to this?
Oh yeah, you see Marielle. She seems calm, smiling. She doesn't seem bothered by the fact that came to light.
I have an artistic talent advantage that might influence some of these reactions a little bit.
Sure, if you want to try to, you know what? Roll me an influence roll since you are trying to present your art.
Okay. I rolled a 14, so I get to choose an option.
Sure. What are the options?
The effect, I think. Ooh. I want the effect that they look up to you, that I take +1 for the rest of the scene from the general public.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, people, art sometimes takes a little processing. You got to take it in, and you were covered in doll dust, porcelain, and people are just kind of,
They probably just think it's part of the whole thing.
Yeah, and they, and they start to clap and then stuff like that, and and receptive, kind of just play into the absurdity that this would never have happened if it wasn't planned. And you did it such a solid performance that people think that this was supposed to be a part of the exhibit.
She starts shaking people's hands and touching people's shoulders and leaving porcelain prints on people's black tie
that shit up.
Events, clothing. It's on the floor, like the sledgehammer that she was using to crush, like did not respect the floor. There's a spot,
It's cracked.
and she just at the end.
And I think with all of that hype that's happening now, with the audience happening, I don't know if that's putting Cecil to ease that people are receptive to what is is happening, but Marielle leans into that, and she comes up to the center of the audience now that everybody seems kind of receptive to to paying attention after that display, and she's like, well, that was surely unique and something, and we thank M.I.N.T for being a part of this auspicious evening as we are, I would assume that by now the time it took you to gather all these dolls, do this whole performance and experience all this, we're about close to midnight. So Marielle begins to kind of set the stage. It's like the lights that were kind of up start to kind of dim down a little bit to kind of add to the general ambiance of stuff as she kind of just speaks out loud. And she kind of just lays into the history of Givac Queen. And she starts off with saying, Triumph de la Mort, the triumph of death. That is what Givac Queen hoped to accomplish in his life, and thus manufactured the Atrocity exhibition, pulling from all of the dark macabre and the pain and toils of humanity and life. Givac Queen seemed to have found the universal truth that lies beyond death. And I have spent my countless years exploring and enjoying the art that he has come to make into this world. And I hope tonight you all will equally share in that true enjoyment. So if you have an invitation that has a skull on it, please join me upstairs to the front of my gallery and let us begin to explore the life and the art of one of history's finest painters. And everybody starts to kind of rummage through their invitations, and slowly people start to depart from the main floor and even from the top gallery, people who are watching, and slowly start making their way towards Dubois' gallery. Every single one of you has a invitation or is attached to somebody with an invitation that has that red skull on the invitation. Do you all head up together?
Yeah, I think so. And I think
absolutely. I'm going up.
Cecil probably just watches M.I.N.T with a smile, and then once they're making their way up, I think he'll go up as well.
Yeah. Samantha finds you and goes with you and leads you along to come up with you to that, kind of like nudging you and being like, good job, like didn't expect the addedness of their conversation, but love the actual touch. She's like really whispering in your ear and laying it on of how excellent and proud she is of you doing that.
Got this like pig pen effect because they're not removing the porcelain dust from them for the rest of the evening. This will be here. And it's like they have fulfilled what they needed to. They are the weirdest looking person in the room, so they are just almost more normal than they've been the entire night.
Isadora, are you doing anything as you've been kind of ducking low since you splashed somebody?
Yeah, it didn't go the way I wanted to, so I thought a low profile and going up, but I would actually like to pass by M.I.N.T at one point and compliment on. As I pass, I'd be like, excuse me.
Yes.
I have to say, that was definitely a showstopper. What inspired you to do that?
Well, when I fell off this building a few weeks ago, I knew that I had to come back and perform again and really sort of make my mark inside as much as I did on the outside.
I'm gonna, like, is there anyone with, like, one of those champagne trays walking by, like, near us?
Yeah, there's still people
I'm
serving.
gonna make sure I grab two and extend one out, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I beg you to please continue this story.
Oh, well, of course. Some of this I can't talk about yet because we have a trial date. But most of it's on YouTube, honestly.
Oh, do go on. Go.
Yes.
Go
Yes.
on.
The tricky thing about shingles is, and they just go on.
I'm gonna take my phone out and start YouTubing, like trying to find the clip.
Yeah. They are so fucking excited. They take your arm and regale their survivor story.
God bless. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm taking all this in.
All right. So as you guys gather together in front of Dubois' gallery, you finally hear the clock. You guys, there's a clock in the museum, finally strike midnight and starts to kind of chime 1, 2, 3. And as it keeps going and stuff like that, eventually, like, the two guards who are out front kind of, robotically almost just kind of shuffle, take off the fucking rope and move off to the side. And then grab the double doors of Dubois' gallery and finally open it. And as it opens and stuff like that, you don't see like any real light. It's really dark at the entrance of this gallery.
I sneak up to
It's
my
hard to
mom super snarkily and say, "You didn't think to light the exhibit? Is the whole point of it death is darkness, and actually there's no art in here and it's all another performance art piece, Mom?"
Why don't you go inside and see for yourself?
Fine.
Are you the first to go in?
Yeah.
I think Cecil's not far behind, and he's got Adeline in his arm, and he's definitely like, did someone forget to turn the lights on as he's making his way in?
Okay. As you guys slowly start to shuffle in, and yeah, it's very dark in here for, many of you who have perused through these galleries prior in general and stuff like that know that they're fairly deep and stuff like that. They're meant to accommodate any kind of range of pieces, both, sculptures to wall paintings. And, Dubois holds the largest gallery amongst the four, as she's the largest patronage to the overall place. But as you guys kind of enter and stuff like that, you finally get like almost halfway through before you finally get some type of illumination, enough for you guys to kind of huddle together under this bit of light. And across all the way to the end are 8 paintings spread evenly across the back wall. And then one like altar mantle that holds like a more stationary piece that's at its center. But yeah, you guys slowly start to kind of huddle in. And these paintings are a series of just things that come out of like self-portraits of moments. Some of you who have studied these paintings would know them by name. Cole and Mint, and those also who know that there was 8 oil paintings that were made, followed by one I can never pronounce it, a triptych, which is like a
Triptych?
centerpiece. A triptych, yeah. And there are various names. One is called The Prison, which is a self-portrait of a young Vauquelin, flanked on either side. are corpses representing the body. The next is the coupling, which is a dark bedroom with crumpled sheets and empty wine bottles of rotting food, where two corpses rest in the afterglow of lovemaking, representing feelings and passion. There's the Wanderer, which is framed in moonlight, a robed figure transvest in vast desert, seeking an indistinct city, representing the intellect. The three angels, the dying man chained upon a pile of skulls that reach up towards three stone angels, representing imprisonment in the illusion. The fool's wisdom, the disembowelment of a man that offers his entrails to a Sephirim in exchange for divine insight, representing instincts. Atano Caldo, a crucified Vauquelin stands before a burning ruin, while anarchists dance in the background that represents the force of life. The Feast of Ignorance, which is a deep within the Parisian catacombs, haloed figures, examples of stigmata of Vauquelin's inanimate corpse, representing the will. And finally, the last of the paintings that are up there is the Triumphador. A halo death stands above Adam and Eve, slipping into a churning chaos of purgatory that represents the consciousness. And as you guys are looking at all of these vastly stricken oil paintings that even feel now, as you're looking at them, that seem to be almost running with life of the rich, these dark crimson reds and these bright stuff, and the torment that you just see across of this, you feel this odd energy just as you're kind of witnessing the torment the torment and the macabre that you feel from this life, and you kind of even wonder what Vauquelin was even trying to accomplish. And it kind of puts you all at unease as you kind of are trying to do that. And everybody's kind of trying to lean in this dark room because it's kind of even like too dark to see. People are starting to kind of gather closer and closer to these paintings and stuff like that, just so that they can kind of make stuff out. Because as much as the only light that is added on top of the one that you guys are under is just the faint lights that kind of illuminate each painting. So, people are slowly, out of their curiosity, leaving the light, entering into the shadows to get just a little bit closer to seeing what these paintings are. Meanwhile, Marielle, is allowing people to take their moment to kind of really fill in, but she's slowly making her way to the triptych at the center, and kind of getting behind it. Anthony's kind of in tow as he's kind of wanting to be there for her first initial speech as being the kind of spouse and support like he always does. And to your surprise, Cecil, is you're kind of, depending on if you go forward to look at the paintings or you stay within the light with everybody else here, you would notice that Alana has finally showed up here and is now, you haven't seen him all night at all, outside of that rude exchange over the walkies, and that one brief moment in M.I.N.T's performance. But now he's here, out of the blue. But he's slowly making his way towards Marielle.
I'm probably going to cross to Marielle anyway and just kind of whisper to her, honey, don't you think we could have invested a little bit more in lighting? I'm practically falling over myself here.
It's all for the grand purpose of it, Cecil. You can't question why.
Is there a reason why Alana has been treating me like dog shit? Is there something going on?
I can't say. As far as I know, Alana is treating me as sweetly as he always does.
So you wouldn't mind if I fire his ass?
Why would you fire his ass? He has made sure that this collection has been handled from top to bottom.
Maybe a stern talking to.
Maybe a stern talking to. Why don't you count how much money you end up getting out of this exhibit? And she goes as tries to straighten up your jacket and stuff like that, trying to brush you off from this moment. Why don't you wait until you count all your bills at the end of this exhibition and then question whether or not you want to fire Alana? How about that? Enjoy the moment, Cecil.
You have a way with words, Marielle. Yeah, I am actually kind of intrigued by one of the paintings over there. I think I'm going to check it out.
Well, don't go too far. The grand finale has yet to be revealed because the triptych is not yet opened. But once it is, you'll really, truly understand why we're doing this tonight.
In your proposal, I don't remember the triptych.
The
Is that
triptych
new?
isn't. Oh, yeah. It was always a part of it. 8 oil paintings and the triptych, the Tears of Debra.
Now I remember that name. Yeah. All right, well, I'll go to enjoy it. Just don't be upset if people start opening their flashlights on their phones.
I don't think we'll have to worry about that. Camera phones these days aren't even that really good. They're all pixely in the dark. Maybe a reason I did it. And she kind of walks away and heads towards that triptych. And by the time she reaches it, Alano is there standing right behind her. And Anthony Dubois is there as well. And Marielle kind of, gives them a couple more beats to allow people to kind of just start to mull and think and discuss the painting before she kind of calls them over to come back to that center light that illuminates all of you. And you guys kind of hurtle together, and all you are is now surrounded by darkness with the paintings behind you, standing before Marielle Dubois, Anthony Dubois, and Alano Tosset right behind the triptych. And Marielle just starts to just continue to explain about the turmoil and the life of Guy Vauquelin. He had seen, talking about his time down in the catacombs of Paris, trying to learn the dark secrets about death and immortality. And that what Vauquelin was trying to get out of the Atrocity exhibition was not a final mark on the streak of his time on Earth, but to open us to the idea that there is something more beyond death waiting for us. And death is not the end. That is just the beginning. And as she kind of, opens up this triptych, what you guys see with inside of it as she kind of pulls the left open, pulls the right open, is this enormous, it's an enormous case of exquisitely carved, writhing corpses decorated on an exterior as she kind of pulls it back, left, right. And inside of it, there's like a series of pentagrams and symbols and patterns within a dark circle. And as you guys are kind of even like watching all of this stuff, if you guys were to kind of even look on the floor, you would notice that these patterns and stuff like that are also kind of been put on the ground. It's been too dark to kind of really notice it, but it's there in the inkling paintings. Yes.
As soon as I notice any of the pentagrams, can I use my advantage enhanced awareness?
Sure.
Okay, let me see. What is it? Plus soul. Okay. So it's to see through the illusion. I got a 16.
16.
On a success, you have visions about the place and may be able to speak with entities tied to it. So I think I'm just kind of like focusing on the triptych and the parts of the ground that have pentagrams on them.
And to be clear, this is the Tears of Jaraba that we're looking at?
Yeah, the Tears of Debra, that's in the center of it.
And the floor below it, like below our feet?
The floor below it, you notice now that there's like paintings or something that matches the inside of the inside of this thing. Okay. Yeah, the pentagrams and the patterns that kind of are inside of it is now the whole thing is kind of open.
We're stepping on those runes the same that the centerpiece is.
Yeah.
That's good.
As Cool. Your thing, what does that do again? Sorry. Just wanna make sure I'm doing
it says, when you focus your senses at a location where the illusion is weak, roll plus soul. On a success, you have visions about the place and may be able to speak with entities tied to it. So I'm just kind of trying to get, I don't have to like talk to anything or anything like that. I think I'm trying to get vibes based on like if the illusion's like wibbly and like especially if it's near the triptych or the like pentagrams on the floor, I think is what I'm interested in.
Cole, when you clock the patterns on the floor and recognize patterns on the floor, you kind of start looking up at the paintings, and as you do, you kind of see it, the ripple, the veil, and you just feel the sense of undying power and undying dread that just starts to fill you here. And as you're trying to connect all the dots of just that wash of feeling that's come over you, you see it. Your mother reach for a knife behind her back and plunge it straight into your father. Once, twice, thrice, pulls the blade out as the splash of blood covers the tears of Dubois. And as that happens, a giant shake fills the room. As everything starts to grow darker, dimmer, the lights start to fade a little bit as the pentagrams and the patterns filled with the blood of Anthony Dubois starts to illuminate this art piece. And as that continues to happen, you see Alano Toset. And he just starts to shift in his body. His body starts to lurch forward as his skin starts to grow and expand to something you all have never seen before. A creature twisted from the figments of your darkest imagination. And as that happens, the panic sets in with the people in the crowd as people start to back away into the darkness of out of the safety of that illuminated light, as Alano's body continues to twist and contort and conform into something hellish. And as people start to dip into the shadows, you then start hear the screaming of people being grabbed by things, the sound of bodies being ripped apart in the darkness. And it becomes just an overwhelming sound of screams and mush and squelch and blood and gore, and you don't know even what's happening. And Marielle is there in the midst of all this chaos, eyes at Alano like she has been waiting for this moment all of her life, that she has succeeded in one of the deepest goals that she has ever set herself to do, and she is waiting for the reward she's been waiting for.
I think Cecil runs over to her and is like shaking her, like, what's going on? What the hell is going on?
And she doesn't even take her eyes away. She's looking at Alano, and she's almost kind of reaching her hands out to them. And she's like, I found the answer, Cecil, to immortality, to overcoming death itself. And he is here for just a small price. And she looks at you. Every single soul in this gallery. And she starts to manically laugh as she continues to watch Alano just transform himself. What do you want to do? Are you going to stay where you are at?
I'm going to say, what have you done? And yeah, I'll probably like throw her back and start looking for a way out.
Cole, what are you doing? You're watching all of this happen as people are pushing past you, shoulder checking you, push, woof.
Cole throws himself down like over top of their dad and is just like trying to staunch the bleeding and like trying to get him to talk. Dad, what did you do? Did you? Whoa, you're gonna be okay. I'll call an ambulance. And they're like fumbling for their phone, like hands slick with blood, and just like trying to like keep him awake and alive as they try their best to dial 911.
Mm-hmm. He's murmuring something indistinct, but the wound is deep and stuff. But you're trying to hold him together. Mint, Isadora, you are witnessing this stuff. You guys are also being pushed around by the group of people who are trying to escape. You hear everything that's going on. Are you trying to escape? Are you trying to act? Are you trying to, you Mint would see Cole down on the ground and stuff like that, but they are he's right there next to Alano and this form that's transforming, and the maniacal joy of Marielle just enjoying the moment,
I think if I see Cole next to this very obviously dead man, I'm going to try to like rip them back and move, like haul ass. If I have to try to start dragging their dad towards the door, it's just obsessive. We're going, Cole. Let's go.
No, my dad, he's
gone.
He's gone. We can help him. Just wait.
More than once. He's been stabbed more than once. Let him go. Let's go. I just grab and throw them towards the door.
Isadora, what are you doing? Are you finding a way out? Are you leaving the safety of this circle of light? Or are you continuing to witness the events that are happening in front of you?
I was going to say, can I investigate? Because that was the first thing I noticed, is because I'm in the circle of light. Is that actually, like, I'm seeing that's probably one of the safer spots, but I also
if you want to observe the situation, you may.
Absolutely.
Roll me and observe the situation.
Okay. Ooh! I got a 20.
Got a 20. Hell yeah. Very good. So you can answer 3 questions. That's on the list if you're looking at it, or I can list you the options and you can ask the questions.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and list if you like.
So the options that you have to ask, you can ask 3 out of these questions. What is my best way through this? What is currently poses the biggest threat? What can I use to my advantage? What should I be on the lookout for? What is being hidden from me? And what seems strange about this?
What seems... I wonder what is strange about this. I'm going to take that one off the table because I can kind of put
There's
2 and 2.
nothing wrong here. It's just an average day in a gallery. It's performance art.
Okay, what can I use to my advantage?
What can you use to your advantage? I would say right now, your current advantage is being in the light, because you are able to see around yourself, because the darkness, once you leave this light, it's dark. So you at least know what's around you in the general sense, being here, from what is refracting out of the circle. So you're in a better place than anything else. So you can kind of make out the silhouettes of bodies and the things that are grabbing at them.
This light, is it like attached? I just have to know. Like, just like, is it like
up on the ceiling? It's not a removable. It's one of the ceiling lights.
All right.
It's been put there to kind of make this scenery.
Okay. Second question is, what is my best way through this?
You know that the best way through this is not where everybody else is going. Everybody else is heading towards the door that they know, because they know that there's only one way in, one way out of these galleries and stuff like that. So they're going for the main door. You know that the main door is being, 1, occupied by a bunch of people, and 2, that it's closed and locked and nobody can get out currently. So you think that there has to, but you know that buildings have escape routes or they have to have a fire exit of some kind. There has to be other options to get out of a room that only has one door technically. So you know that that's probably your best option, is to not go where the rest of the people are going, and that there might be somewhere else in this gallery to do. Ask your last question.
Oh God, I'm stuck between two. Hold on, sorry. Okay. What is being hidden from me?
What is being hidden from you? As you're kind of gathering yourself and you're looking around and you're trying to get your bearing, you're trying to figure out the game plan, you are going into analytical mode. You know, you are a scientist and you are not fazed by the chaos. You use the chaos to your advantage. And as you're kind of sorting that out and you're coming to the conclusion that you might need to go in the opposite direction of everybody else, you see a woman fall onto the ground. And what you clock is actually the woman that you saw earlier, the one you were schmoozing on in the bathroom. She's landed on the floor in a panic. And she seems to have been running away from something. And she's still kind of like frantically crawling. And as she's like now more clear in the light, that's when you see it. It's a person, a creature, a body? Yeah. But it grabs her by the fucking ankles and yanks her back into the darkness.
I'm gonna, just so you know, I'm gonna crouch down in like a position like a catcher, and I'm gonna be watching to see if, because I'm at that low angle, see if I can catch any other reflections of height and all that, and just kind of just see if I could see any outlines of anything else.
Yeah, I mean, this woman's like looking at you frantically, trying to reach and grab for your hands to maybe hope that you're going to save her.
I will extend a little bit out, but never outside, but just in the light, and be like.
Yeah. But as she's like fighting as being dragged in there, you're just watching this humanoid-looking body of a person just slowly drag her back into the part of the dark that you can't see. And then you just hear the sounds of crying and ripping and tearing apart.
Was it humanoid in a way of like actual human faces, or is it like distorted?
It's got a human face, but the skin seems to be pulling off of it, like it's not able to retain its muscle and its skin and its form. The body seems a little out of proportion, and you can definitely smell this deathly, earthy, terrible musk of dead body, something you're very familiar with, the smell of corpses. We drag this woman off away, guys.
I have still two options left with my sixth sense, one of them being act first in a threatening situation. This can include even acting prior to a surprise attack. I think I might use that option, and Cecil knows his way around this gallery, and I think he is heading in the direction of what he believes is like a secondary exit, a fire exit.
Absolutely, yeah, you have that inclination. This is your gallery. This is your domain, your home. You built this, so you know that there are places that you're not supposed, places that you know of that are built into the walls, that are meant for staff, easy access, and in the event an emergency. And you're heading towards one of that. It's in the back left corner of the gallery.
I think if I'm heading there, and as I'm heading there, I'm looking for people like Cole and Hugh, trying to make sure that I can signal people that I know are necessary to come
Hugh,
with me.
what are you doing? I haven't yet to get to you. You've been in this cacophony of chaos and stuff like that. You're seeing people being snatched into the darkness, and you hear terrible things on the other side.
When all of this happened, he was really focused on that painting of the man offering his entrails to the angels. And I think he was thinking over that thought that him and Cole were developing, the idea that pervades human mind. And then as all of this is going on, he is like eerily calm through all of it. In fact, just leans a little heavier on his cane. And he's watching Muriel with like a very serious concentration to see what she's doing following the stabbing, following the explanation of her deeds. He's trying to see if there's anything she's trying to do as all of this is going on. But if Cecil is trying to get his attention, Hugh is going to take every opportunity to make sure that Cecil doesn't fucking die.
This way, come here.
So he'll start to hobble over if Muriel is not up to anything that needs attention.
Yeah, Marielle's just encapsulated with the transformation of Alano that's happening before her.
Can we clock Alano in the room? Is it such a big form that
it's
moving in the shadow?
He hasn't left the spot that he was at the center stage where Marielle went to stab at the beginning of this. He's just right there on that pedestal, just growing in form, and he's turning into this creature that you can't really even articulate into words, even being a writer. M.I.N.T, Cole, you see Hugh, you see people making moves to following Cecil. Are you guys following them, or are you staying here in the light?
I think I follow, and if they're able to be pulled, I pull them.
Yeah, I don't think Cole has any kind of ability to resist, so I think they're just kind of dragging along behind you.
It's gonna be fine. We just need to get safe. Just stick it out.
My mom just stabbed him. She just stabbed him, and like it was nothing. Like they've been married for the quarter of a decade, and is just like babbling.
Isadora, you clock that inkling of where you feel like you needed to be. You see the group of people that are following that direction outside of the norm of everybody going in the opposite way. Are you following them?
I will do a double glance back because I heard that what they were saying, but I will go ahead and follow. Like, I'll just be like, okay, and then
you follow.
Yes.
Hugh, as you've been kind of observing Marielle this entire time, and you've been, trying to move forward, trying to listen to Cecil, but you've just been fixated on the fact that, all of this. And that earlier feeling that you had that drew you over here and stuff, it's just radiating from Alano, radiating around Marielle as she kind of continues to reach out to him. And when he finally kind of finishes off into this twisted, humanoid, monstrous form and stuff like that, you witness him scoop Marielle up in this most beautiful fashion, like lovers gently embracing each other for the first time after being separated for so long. And you see the act almost beautiful amongst this grotesque beauty that's happening. But as you see, like, Marielle, she's got kind of tears in her eyes, tears of joy that this is all happening. And you see this kind of moment where this creature kind of strokes away one of those, like, tears. You notice that Marielle stops smiling. You're now, like, kind of hobbling along, trying to follow Cecil, who's trying to get you guys to flee. And as you watch that smile drip from her face, you just start hearing Marielle crying out in agony as she too starts to go into her own transformation, as her body starts to solidify into stone. And then from her, like, behind her in her back, this just wings start to just sprout out as she, like, turns into almost like a statue of an angel. And as you, like, continue to witness this insane moment and this wretched transformation of Marielle Dubois, and she finally just, like, Alano, the creature that had embraced her, lets her go, and she kind of just falls on the ground. And as she kind of looks around, more beast than human, this statue of an angel, she screeches this long, deafening screech into it that makes you all pause and look. And I think that's a good place for us to stop
I
tonight.
hate you so much right now. I don't like you.
Disrespectful. You're
Damn.
disrespectful.
That was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if we just kept playing for another like 4 hours though?
Yeah.
Oh, we could, but then
Okay.
there's just so much more. And
Processing.
I want you at your best.
Still
So,
processing.
so our
Yeah.
night's just begun then.
Oh dear God.
Our night has just begun. We have
Oh,
more
boy.
to do. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight as we are playing through KULT Lost Divinity. If you liked what we are playing through and want to play KULT for yourself, be sure to check out KULTRPG.com, where you'll be able to pick up the books and all of that stuff. We also want to thank Red Moon Roleplaying, who is helping contribute to this actual play and has now made us kind of fall in love with KULT a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we're Mayday Roleplay. Thank you guys so much for joining us. There are tons of other stuff that you guys could be checking out in the meantime until we come back in 2 weeks' time on the 24th to continue this playthrough. There is our Vegas by Night series, our Vampire the Masquerade campaign of 16 episodes of fantastic shenanery in the city of Las Vegas as a group of fledglings try to make their mark on the city. We also have our Tales from the Loop campaign, our little wholesome campaign featuring the kids from Vauquelin, Colorado. Montana, sorry.
You were there, Eli.
I was there.
Shame.
I was there. I think about Colorado a lot because Vince actually runs our Orpheus campaign, which we'll be doing shortly into the summer. So look out for that. But you can catch up on the previous season beforehand. And also, in our coming future is also our Doom to Repeat series, our Delta Green campaign. Our Arc 3 is on the horizons in our fall. So catch up. We got, 23 episodes of just, more horror and shenanigans. So be sure to check that out. But yeah, thank you for joining us tonight, guys. And
Thanks for running
we'll
it,
see you
Eli.
next time.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Killer.
Awesome stuff,
Awesome.
y'all.
Can't wait to play again.
But yeah, we'll see you guys soon and have a good rest of your weekend.
Bye,
Good
guys.
night, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Much
Thank
love.
you.